I am very excited to, PJ, at the game, you were all upset last week. During the show, you just sat there half the time like, I can't believe Justin Fields is not playing in this game. I bought all these tickets for all my grandchildren to go to this game in Indy, and you were so upset. So I kind of want to know how you felt after the end of the game after seeing such a uh, excellent performance from what could be our quarterback too by the time the season starts. I'd like to know that, PJ. Don't get into it now because it'll
Okay.
make the cold open way too long.
Okay. Okay.
But just let us know. Did you have fun?
No.
Honest answer.
Okay. No.
All right. Well, I guess we'll get into that a little bit more. Foster, how are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I just got back from Michigan. Had a great vacation with the family stuff, so it was nice. Very nice.
That looks awesome, man.
I
You're in
thought-
a new setting there. We don't have the same background for you tonight.
Nope, I'm in the basement because it's 93 degrees upstairs in my studio.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm good
Well,
down here, man.
That's I guess we can talk about that more as we get into the show. Tonight we have Chris Watts is joining us again, and we have Paulski, and his buddy Dave Ski, who's going to join us right after this. So, Walt, let's kick this shit off.
Bears country. Where is it?
Down with
You down with BCP?
Down with BCP.
Get down with VCB.
You down with BCP?
Down with VCB.
You down with BCP?
How about this one? Does this one work?
Look like you're an elliptical machine.
At least I'm getting my workout in, right?
I know, right?
That's about all you're doing is scaring me. Right?
One of these days, there will be an epic dance, and everyone will agree that it was amazing. And it will
Absolutely.
include-
I won't be here to see it.
Oh, man. My two amazing co-hosts and our amazing producer, Walt, in the background. It is great to be hanging out with you guys again. PJ, how are you doing? Foster, how you doing? Let's bring you in really quick. Walt, how are you doing tonight too, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. A little warm here, but can't complain.
Are you staying cool at least?
Well, trying to.
Trying to. Your air conditioning bill is going to be $500 like mine.
That's never that bad.
That's mine in the summer here. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's all I got to say about that one. Wow.
Yeah. In a ranch. Yeah. So I feel your pain in the heat up there. It's the southern heat is just as bad.
Yeah.
But you guys are going through some shit up there right now.
We are.
It's only 107.
Oh, that's not bad.
Nah, no biggie.
With the heat index of 118, feels like 118. That's what I think I
What?
saw.
115, 120. What's the difference?
When it's hot like this, it makes you really think about going to hell. That's what it is.
I thought I was there today, coming back.
Man.
Makes you want to never say to somebody, "Go to hell" again, right?
Yeah.
Go to the Midwest.
Well, guys, we've got a great show planned. We've got Paulski coming in tonight. We've got his buddy Dave, and of course, we have Chris Watts. He will be in Chicago soon. We're gonna have a great time hanging out with Chris Watts and going to a couple of games between the two of us here, Foster. So let's bring the guys in and let's have a good time with these guys.
All right.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Paul Ski, Dave Ski, Chris Watts.
In the house.
Let's start with Chris Watts because he's been on the show many times. He's Chris. You know how much I love you, man. How you feeling?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I had a bit of a technical sort of fucking nightmare about 2 minutes before coming on, as you can probably tell. But no, it's great to see everybody. It's good to see the new guys, and it's always good to see PG and Foster. And yeah, it's not long until I'm in Chicago, mate. It's about 7 weeks or 6 weeks this weekend. So yeah, it's crazy, mate. Just can't wait. Really can't wait.
And time flies. It's going to be here in a couple of blinks.
You think about it, would have been October last year when you first thought of the idea of doing the GoFundMe. So I mean, we are talking nearly years past, and yeah, it's just cool that it's coming around quick, mate.
Dude, we're going to have so much fun. Get your ass ready.
Absolutely.
Bearski,
Got to be ready.
What's up, man?
great to see you again. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. I'm still one of the fans that's excited for the season start, and still excited to see what's gonna go down and how everything's gonna happen. I'm really looking forward to this week 1 matchup against the Packers, and yeah, man, I'm ready to go. I think it's been a great week for talking points, although it hasn't been necessarily a great week for the Bears with injuries and things like that. Still, there's a lot to discuss tonight, man. A lot to discuss.
Dave Ski, it's nice to meet you. I hear Paulski has had a lot of compliments about you and your Bears' fortitude, and he claims you came here to kind of test us tonight, but
Whoa.
apparently he told you that we know our shit, so we're going to have to get into this.
Yeah,
I did.
It's great to have you on the show, Dave.
Thank you, guys. I've been watching you guys last few episodes, and I like it a lot. Love the podcast
good to
and
hear.
stuff, so
Thank you.
glad to hop in. I was a little bit nervous, intimidated. I like you guys a lot, so can't wait to see if, I wouldn't say test you, but definitely match some wits and stuff, and see what's going on. I got, definitely plenty of opinions, and me and Paulie check each other all the time, so it's definitely fun, and can't wait to see what's going on with you guys. So I'm shitting my pants personally, but about the season. Week 1, I'm shitting my pants already, but
Yeah.
But
we'll
you
get
have
into that
pin
later. So
on your
yeah.
walls.
Oh,
In
so
fact,
no, I got a curtain here, and then I got my
Oh,
crown molding here. So
that's
So
some nice
how about-
crown molding. Some nice work you
Yeah.
got going on there.
thank you guys.
I just got to say, Dave,
David's-
if you're sitting in
David's
your
still
pants
settling
now,
into a
you
new
would have
house.
never made it through the 70s.
Yeah, no, I mean,
It was
I'm
10 years of shitting in your pants before the season even started. TJ's
that's
laughing because it's true.
it's the beautiful thing about the NFL season. Every team, week 1 of training camp is like, we're a Super Bowl contender, and then reality sets in by week 3 of training camp, and reality has hit me hard, and I'm just shitting my pants about week 1. I can't handle a week 1 loss to Green Bay right now, but I'm feeling it.
Listen, I can't handle it. Like
Yes.
I feel like I would jump off of the closest bridge if they lost to the Packers in the first game.
I'll
Hopefully
hold
it's
your
shallow.
hand on the way down, but it's feeling intense, and it's me being more and more realistic. So yeah, we can get into the details why, but I'm getting nervous, boys. So
Well, you know why you're getting nervous? Because it's winding down. We're getting to that point in the season that the first game is coming. So we can sit here and talk shit all we want and be like, yeah, we're going to kick the Packers' ass in the first game. But as it starts to wind down to that first game, we start to see the injuries develop and the blah, blah, blahs. We start to see Jordan Love not looking as terrible as we thought he would be. So I get it. And we're going to get into that a little bit more because I'm a little bit nervous too, I will say, because I can't. We cannot do this again, guys. We cannot go through Brett Favre going to Aaron Rodgers, thinking, "Oh, great, they finally moved on from Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers is better." And then have, even if Love was the same as Aaron Rodgers, if he's not better, but he's the same, that would be just as much of a kick in the ass as the last two. So I get the nervousness.
Listen, I refuse to join you guys in that thought because I really think it's recency bias, and I think it's just due to the fact that we've been so badly beaten down in the past. Like, I'm not going into this season scared. I'm not doing it. I'm going in excited and hopeful. And if it does wind up the way David's saying, I will be hosting the suicide party where we all drink the Kool-Aid and
jump into the river together.
Yeah, I'll be sending the invites out for that. But I just I think it's really all depending on Justin Fields at the end of the day, guys, and that's what's exciting to me about it. If he is the guy we all think he can be, and what he can be, then we will still see a lot of good football this year.
Yes.
I agree.
Before
PJ, you want to address the chat?
However, I said before we go much further, let's go ahead and address the chat. Cliff Victoria, Plank, Swifty,
Mr. Mayhem.
How do you pronounce that? Keo
Carito.
Keo Carito.
Right.
Shay.
Leo Shay, yes, Queen of the North.
Yes.
Mo Bierman. Leo Factor 1 was in here. Doug Van Dorn.
Doug Van Dorn.
Yeah, Mark Kazak I think he was one of the first ones here today.
Yeah.
As usual.
Love you, Mark Kazak. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Really do. We really appreciate you.
Doug Van Dorn. We have our regulars here. We appreciate you, man. You know who you are.
James Ford. Yes, we appreciate
Ford,
you
great
guys.
to see you again. Yes.
Is STC here?
Not yet.
Not yet. He'll be in soon. Swifty saying, "Keuch."
You.
So I kind of titled the show tonight about Bagent because my entire life as a Bears fan, I've wanted nothing more than just a developmental quarterback, and I've panned for it every year. And when they've drafted one in a 5th or a 6th round, I've thought, okay, maybe this could be the guy, and they never pan out. And again, going back to In Polls We Trust, it's this kid, or I shouldn't say kid, this general manager that we have now, it's like he's pulling all the right strings, right? He knows what he's doing. Guess he said it himself, about the he worked with him in the Senior Bowl. Walt, I kind of like before we continue, kind of pull up these videos. Let's talk about what Eberflus had to say about the quarterback competition in this training camp.
Game experience, but we just want to be able to do that with the unit.
Is there anything you saw from the backups that are in there practicing over the past week or so that made you feel more comfortable putting them back there behind them?
Yeah, those guys are doing a nice job. Like I said, we've commented on pretty much all those guys, and they've done a nice job so far, in terms of executing the offense. So it's we feel good where those guys are right now. Yeah, I'm not going to answer that. That's still a competition, though. Like we've said all along, and we're open to that, and that's exciting. And that was created. That was created. It wasn't like we created it. I mean, when I say we, the coaching staff, that was created by pure competition. And, like I said, if you keep an open mind and you let things play out, then good things will happen. A lot of times I've seen that coaches predetermine things a lot of times, and we just base it on performances. And we're just going to continue to do that, let the competition play itself out.
Sometimes with younger players who are surprises in camp, coaches don't want to put those snaps on tape for the other teams in the league leading up to cut day. Have you ever subscribed to that or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says. Yeah, I have.
We'll see. We'll see. I think,
We'll see.
You got to look at each situation.
As you look towards those back of the roster type
Look at that
guys,
smile.
make those decisions. What is going to win out for you? Like minding your
You can
P's,
pull it.
the alignment
You can
assignment,
pull it, Walt.
or like the
I
production.
think I made it too long. But what he's saying there is there is an open competition for the quarterback 2 spot. And me being a lifelong lover of wanting to develop a quarterback behind a quarterback we never even had, It mostly came from wanting to develop a quarterback because we never had a quarterback.
Right.
And now we have a quarterback. And now I'm just as excited about our backup quarterback as I am our starting quarterback, because we need to have someone in case something, knock on wood, goes wrong, that can step in and do the job. And the whole world is buzzing. The whole Bears world, NFL world even, is buzzing about Tyson Bagent. So I would like to know what you guys think about what you saw with your own two eyes from this previous game, starting with you, Chris Watts.
Regarding Bagent, I mean, I thought he played really well for the stats he had. But I personally think everybody's going a little bit over the top about it, really. You've already seen a really small sample size. He wasn't really playing against the first. He only played a couple of drives. I mean, I liked what I saw. I thought he played really well. I'm not putting the kid down, but he's still from a very, very low level of college football player. I know that he played for like 4 years, and I know that he won their sort of Heisman Trophy for that division. But it's just been a really small sample size, and maybe that's just a reflection of how crap it's been for quarterbacks in Chicago, that anybody who shows any resemblance of able to play would jump on the bandwagon and say this guy's going to be the next second coming of Jim McMahon or whoever, you know what I mean? So, so I mean, I don't think he's done himself any harm, but it's just his lack of experience. You're either, if you have him as your number two, you make a decision of, well, do I want somebody who's playing well at this moment in time, or do I want somebody who's got NFL experience like PJ Walker, even though he's played really poorly in the pre-season, and apparently he's been just as bad in training camp as well. So it's sort of like the equation of, do you want the experience, or do you want this guy who possibly could be a great quarterback or a number two? So I just think people just need to calm down a bit about it, really, to be honest with you. Sorry, it sounds like a cynical English guy, but that's just how I feel.
I had my finger on the button the whole time to remove you for what you were starting to say.
Well, looking at PJ Foster, or you going, whatever fucking is going to get me out in a minute.
You're out of here. He's out of here. No, he's out of here.
I'll be out of here next, because I'll kind of double down on that.
Okay, I can get your finger on the button.
Yeah, go ahead, get ready, because guys, listen, there is a competition at quarterback too, and it's between PJ Walker and Nathan Peterman.
Oh God, pull him! There we go.
Man, it's harsh on this show.
Let me make my point. You said, you might need the quarterback too. Well, I think the real question is need. Like, what's the expectation of the need here? How long do you need him for? Do you need him for a drive? Do you need him for a half? Do you need him for a game? I think at most ever you need a backup quarterback for 4 games, and you're trying to get him to win at least 2 of those for you. But more of the time, I think a drive or a half or a game is more of the situations that come up. And to be honest with you, Fields is the real deal. You look at the teams that have top quarterbacks in the leagues, QB2 doesn't usually see the field much. But when they do, I would trust a guy with a little bit more experience to maybe just hold it down for a drive or 2 if that's what we need. And I think Bagent's a great QB3 option, because if you're down at that point, you're just gambling. So he's worth the gamble for sure. The kid looks comfortable. I believe I was watching a couple of videos where, one guy said that he was the best Division II player he's ever seen, which, I mean, we've heard that before about Division II players or whatever, but I know he threw like 17,000 yards in his college career, and then I know he stayed in Division II because his decision was based off staying close to family. So he wanted to go to a college close to his family. So I think that checks part of his character box, and obviously he does look comfortable in the part. But I mean, what did we see from him? We saw a couple drives in the first and second preseason game. We saw maybe 1 or 2 good throws. I mean, I have a video uploaded ready to go. It's a minute and a half long that shows those 2 throws. It looked nice, but what does he look like after taking half a season worth of hits and sacks and whatnot? Can he still thrive? Like, there's a lot to play in this position, guys. So I think QB3 is the right spot for that guy.
Well, what I think about the eye test that's being passed by all of us is how quickly he gets rid of the damn ball. He gets in and out of the huddle quick. He gets rid of the ball quick. Davesky, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to build off that because just me and Paulie see it similar but different, so I can complement it and like kind of go back off of it. So realistically, what you want out of your backup quarterback is you're not asking him to make dynamite throws or like once in a lifetime throws or anything like that. So you're asking him to run the offense. So if he can get rid of the ball quickly and continue the offense for 1 or 2 drives out of every 3, then yeah, that's what you want. Tyson Bagent is number 1 record holder in D2 and for passing touchdowns, passing yards. The guy has experience. He's not young. He's 22, 23 years old. He's not like a baby. He's not coming in like a deer, slipping on ice, like not knowing how to do a rhythm throw. And that's what I liked about him in the first game. Second game, I texted Paulie after the first game. I said, this kid has got rhythm. He has rhythm timing. He has rhythm throws. Whenever you see a screen, slant, he's hitting a guy in a pocket where he likes to catch it and then keep going and run. So I like the kid. And to debate whether it's Nathan Peterman or PJ Walker, like PJ Walker has demonstrated one thing to me in like the first 2 preseason games is he's trying to keep his career alive, and he's tossing 60-yard bombs at least once per game to prove that he can still toss 60-yard bombs. And personally, if Justin Fields goes down, my season's wrapped up. I'm tossing it in the air.
You gotta knock on some wood. You can't say that without knocking on wood.
I got plenty of wood around me. I'll knock on all of it. It's fine. Like,
that's drywall. Hit the wood. Hit the wood part.
Yeah, I got it all. But like,
that's surely a
if Fields is out, I'm wrapping up the season anyway. But if you want, like you said, a developmental quarterback, then yeah, I want him in for 6 games versus PJ Walker. I gain nothing. I gain absolutely nothing in my life watching PJ Walker for 6 games, tossing 60-yard bombs to Equinemius St. Brown. Nothing. So if I see Tyson Bagent hitting rhythm throws and going 12 for 15 for 200 yards, there's a quarterback controversy in there somewhere or whatever, or you can move on from Fields, blah, blah, blah. But I gain nothing from Nathan Peterman and PJ Walker. I'd rather see Tyson Bagent as a QB2, hitting rhythm throws. Give me a 23-year-old. He's 6'3", 215. He's not a baby. He ran the fastest 3-cone drill of any quarterback, or the second fastest 3-cone of any quarterback in the combine this year. He went to the Senior Bowl and had like probably the best quarterback situation of anybody at the Senior Bowl, and that's comparing him to D1 guys that are even a D1 guy at a 5th best school is still arguably better than a D2 guy who has set every record. This is a guy who is a big fish in a small pond. Yes, he stayed nearby because he's from West Virginia, and that's what he wanted to do. And you got him for free. He's an undrafted free agent. Take him. Like, ride it out. You have nothing to lose.
Exactly. PJ, Foster, what do you guys have to say about this?
Well, here, what if you throw away the preseason game from Saturday that's against the Colts? What if you throw that drive away? What do you see from Bagent?
I still liked his. I texted Paulie like 10 minutes into game 1. I said, Bagent's the real deal.
Okay.
The kid has rhythm timing throws. He has 17,000 snaps in Division II. That's more than Trey Lance 2,000 into NFL.
Yeah, people are even pointing it out in the chat. So what I want to do is I want to go into what I saw the 2 days I was there with the team for the 2-team workouts with the Colts and the Bears. And I'll start with PJ. Now, if you look at his stuff from last season, he was decent with the Panthers. Go back and look at the games he played with the Panthers. This is a new system for him. It's kind of a weird development with him because I thought he'd come along quicker in this system because he has played in the NFL. But something just seems off. It just seems weird. I don't know if you're right. He's trying to extend his career or whatever. But something just seems off. But then when I sat there and watched the times I've got to sit there and watch Bagent, every single time almost, the guy was through his reads quick and made the quick throw. He was on it. He seems to be able to immediately adjust to any situation that's changing in the game.
Process.
So
yes.
Right. There's the key word, processing. I see it between PJ and Bagent, man. Nathan Peterman hasn't shown me anything that I care to see for the most part. I mean, they say the guy's smart and all this. Go look at everything he's done with the Bears. Who was he with Arizona before that? Just go back and look what he's done.
Raiders, Buffalo. He has the
Raiders.
record for picks and a half.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He was literally signed as a joke to when the Bears signed him. They were like, he was signed to increase the confidence of the DBs to throw him picks.
No, wasn't that the guy we had for one game last year from Green Bay or Detroit? I can't remember his name. The guy who came in and literally threw picks to destroy a game.
Boyle.
But I hear,
Yeah.
Boyle.
you know,
Yeah.
Flu said it, man. It's an open competition. It made a best man win, and I think that's bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Open competition means
You're
even
in-
the punter can compete, right?
You're in year 2 of a rebuild that isn't even started its rebuild. The rebuild starts next year, realistically. It was a teardown this year. It's partial teardown this year. If you have Bagent for 2 to 3 years on a rookie nonsensical deal of a undrafted free agent, you gain nothing from PJ Walker keeping his career alive. Nathan Peterman will have a third string job somewhere next training camp with whoever, Jets, Bills, Dolphins, throw them out there. You gain something from keeping Bagent on the roster, and if he doesn't work out, you go. Me and Paulie have said every year, it's an insult to the NFL to not draft a quarterback at some point in your draft every year. It's an insult. If you don't take one in the 5th, 3rd, 6th round, you're insulting your own team.
Right.
Yeah, because the best one ever was drafted in the last pick of the 6th round.
Right.
So, yeah.
He was on my board the whole time, my dry erase board back in that, late 90s. He was on my dry erase board. I'm like, Tom Brady's still sitting there. Why not take him in the 5th round, in the 3rd round, in the 4th round, in the 5th round?
I like a guy with reps.
Yeah.
17,000 reps through Division II, to me, matters more than Trey Lance, who cost 3 first-round picks for 2,519 reps through 3 seasons of NFL football.
Yeah,
That's
now look at them.
insanity.
They're sitting there with their seventh round pick as the starter now, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, so
Darnold.
Yeah, Darnold.
I mean, I sort of agree with that point. Not fully there, really. All right, he's had all these reps, which is great, and it means a lot because, you know, sometimes when you see how many games some of the first rounders play before they get drafted, like, you know, starting for one season, but the guy was playing Division II football. He was playing Alabama and Ohio and Michigan. And that does make a difference because you played against higher talent all the way across the board. And I really like the guy, but I just think people just need to get a little bit of a reality check and look at the bigger picture, really, because that does make a difference when you're playing 2 or 3 levels higher. Even if you're playing less games than that kid has, you are playing against better competition, which makes you a better player. That's just fact. So, I think they'll keep him. I mean, I reckon I might as well put him on waivers. I don't think anybody's going to pick him up. But I just think people just need to put the brakes on a little bit, man. You know what I mean? And if it works out, it's great. But it's like you say, we lost anything anyway because we didn't draft him or an undrafted free agent. You know, it's worth a chance. You're going to pull me off the screen now, aren't you?
You're going to pull me off the screen. Close. You were so close.
I'm waiting. Literally. I can't believe you let me go on for so long, Dan.
Yeah.
I got
Premier League, Championship League, very different from SEC football. I know plenty of guys drafted from the SEC who fizzled out, and I mean just like absolutely fizzled out. And then there's plenty of guys from, you know, Pac-10, Pac-12, and all that in the NFL. And you know, if Tyson Bagent declined an offer from West Virginia, we have literally Aaron Rodgers played at West Virginia. You know, so you know, a guy who declined an offer from West Virginia and a guy who played 2 years at West Virginia, we're talking about the worst quarterback in the NFL to the best possible of all time. So it's for sure it's different. And pump the brakes for sure. 100%. He's an undrafted free agent. Absolutely. In pragmatic sense, though, I personally, if Justin Fields gets hurt, I gain nothing from watching PJ Walker and Nathan Peterman, even if they go 2-2. I just gain nothing. I gain
It's
nothing.
for
4
how long?
games. Look, well, I'm using your example,
games?
Paulie,
Okay,
of like
4
if it's
games.
4
All right.
games, right? Like if that's what you want out of your starting quarterback or your backup quarterback. If we're talking about 4-game replacement, I gain nothing. If PJ Walker goes in 2-2, it's what I expect. It's if Nathan Peterman goes 2-2, it's what I expect with the number 1 rushing team in the NFL, with a weak schedule, with play action passes and going for 15 yards. Like Trevor Siemian with literally broken cartilage in his ribs almost beat the Jets, and it's Trevor Siemian for Christ's sake. So like, I mean, I just don't care about backup quarterbacks. So developmentally, I'm just talking about with with Shorty, like that's what I'm talking about. Like, I want to see developmental quarterbacks. I'm with you. I've been begging for a developmental quarterback for years. I just want this guy on the roster for 2 years and see what you got. But PJ Walker will be on a different team next year, and it won't matter a lick. Nathan Peterman will be on a different team next year, and it won't matter. But Tyson Bagent, like, if he doesn't make the team this year, I guarantee you're going to see some sneaky-ass team like the Ravens or the Steelers or the Chiefs just sign Tyson Bagent and bench the shit out of him for as QB3 for 4 years and just see what they have. Because that's what you do. That's what a smart team does.
The 49ers might start him.
Yeah, the 49ers might start him.
Yeah, right?
They're going to release Trey Lance and sign Tom Brady as QB3 like week 8, mark my words.
Let's get to some chat here. I'll pull this up while Kyo Krito was saying, who on the bubble are you willing to get rid of to sign Bagent instead? And then Swifty goes on to say Ebner and Homer.
Yeah.
Either one. I honestly don't know who either. I don't know the difference between either one, to be honest with you.
I mean,
but we're talking about
Bagent I think being Homer they picked up for special teams reasons. I think there's been a lot of concern on special teams. Even Tyler Scott must be one of them recently and whatnot. I know Homer did that in Seattle throughout all of last year, and he wasn't nothing crazy or special, but he was at least consistent. You didn't see him bumbling.
I think Tristan Ebner is clearly the cut over Travis Homer, and then Bayless Jones. I mean, I'm not married to him. I don't, unless Ryan Poles just has some sort of like attachment to his 3rd round pick. Like you could just say, "See you later."
I guess the jury's out on Bayless Jones still.
You need to keep 9 linemen. You need to keep 3 to 4 running backs. You have 1 fullback. That's a big position. You're keeping 6 receivers. You're keeping 3 tight ends for sure. So on offense, you're keeping 26, 27 for sure. And then the defense fills up your depth. So that's where you get the chunk of your roster. 53. Your defensive line is 4 guys across. You're going at least 9 across there. Your cornerbacks are 2 deep, 3 deep with a nickel, and you're going 7 there. Your safeties are backups, so you got 4 there, and then your linebackers 3 across, so you got 6 to 7 there. So it is what it is.
Swifty says Velas isn't getting cut. Well, okay, so in that case, who is? Because I do agree with David. There is only room for pretty much 6 wide receivers. You got DJ Moore, Claypool, you got Mooney, Tyler Scott that you just drafted. He's not going anywhere.
ESB is staying.
So you got St. Brown, Pettis, and Velas Jones.
It's a Pettis, Velas Jones argument. It's a
Pettis has also been a punt returner and kick returner and has done an okay job at that. He also has some familiarity with the offense a little bit playing last year. And St. Brown, I think there's a lot of upside with him blocking downfield. And although he doesn't get, listen, I'll take him as wide receiver 5 or 6. That's where he belongs. Last year we saw him kind of more in an elevated role, and that's not where I want him. But as wide receiver 5 or 6, I think I'd keep St. Brown. So in my opinion, it's between Pettis and Velas Jones. So there's, you could say he's not getting cut, but in my opinion, it's almost like a 50-50 coin toss. You don't really know. That's up to the coaching staff. But talking about agent and everything, I think it's a cute discussion. However, realistically, I kind of expected for there to be a little bit more injury concerns with Fields. And as I watched him throughout the season last year, I realized that, I think this kid's a lot tougher than I think he is. And I think he's a lot smarter when taking hits and scrambling and running out of bounds and sliding this and that. So my hot take for this year is actually that he's going to go the whole year without getting hurt. and we're not even going to see QB2 take one snap. So I hope that works out, and I really think it's got a good possibility of doing so. And I'll relate back to Russell Wilson, who played 9 years in this league as an undersized quarterback that was mobile, that played for 9 years straight. You can do it. It can be done. Last year, he went out with a shoulder injury for, I believe, 1 week, and then he got benched at the end of the year. I think that was for different reasons, but I expect Fields to start every single snap this year.
I certainly hope so.
Well,
I don't know what happened to Paulie the last 5 weeks. I was the optimist, he was the pessimist, and we just flip-flopped, and I'm just like, I don't know what happened. He's just like, Fields is going to be healthy. We're going to be good. It's all good. And I'm just like, dude, we're fucked.
I believe he's a superstar.
Dave, you sucked him in, sold him. So
I did.
100%.
Paul and I talked about this a little bit, and then you flip-flop?
I did.
What's going on, man? How does that even work?
When I saw 60% of my offensive line go down, I was like, my butthole puckered up to crush it.
This is the funny part, guys. I know I was on like 2-3 weeks ago with Lester, and I had the 2 questions for him, and one of them was, and I also asked the same question on my YouTube channel. Other than Fields, who's the most important Bears offensive player to stay healthy this year? And when David asked me this, my initial response was DJ Moore. When I asked Lester this, his response was DJ Moore. In fact, I got 1.5 thousand votes on the YouTube channel. 78% of the voters picked DJ Moore. And right away,
I thought you all were crazy.
Yeah. And you know what? And I think David's right, because he said Braxton Jones with the argument of, well, what's that situation look like if he goes down? Say Fields does go down and you are on QB2. Like, who's the next guy that makes the most impact? Is it really DJ Moore? No, if Braxton Jones goes down, you're screwed. And it's funny because he had this opinion, and I've watched him now. I've watched every other lineman other than Braxton Jones go out with injury, and I feel David's just in the corner shaking, afraid of the
like waiting for a Braxton Jones
update. Waiting for it, So.
Paul, I answered your question, Cody Whitehair, on that survey, dude.
That's a great answer.
Specifically because
linemen
of that,
in general, I think.
Because I feel much after watching some more film on Borum practice in the games, because I had it stuck in my head that Borum was what he was last year, and he has made some nice jumps, significant jumps this year, in my opinion. So I'm a little less concerned about that position, because he's been playing both left and right and doing an adequate or above job from what I've seen in all of the videos I've seen. Now, if I'm missing something, somebody please tell me.
No, you're nailing it.
I think it was last.
Guys, random trivia time. Which number did Hall of Fame Orlando Pace wear during his one season in Chicago in 2009?
B.
A, 74, B, 76, C, 78, D, 79.
B.
I say B as well.
76 Orlando Pace.
Me too.
I've got no idea, so I'll say.
So you'll say what?
C. I've got no idea, so I'll go for C.
C. Okay. PJ?
I say B.
B?
Yeah.
76? What do you guys in chat say? We got Mark Kazak saying B. We got Doug Van Dorn saying B, 76. So we got Keo Carito saying B, it's 76. Cliff Victoria saying B, 70. Oh, I'm gonna have to go with you guys because you're I think I'm gonna go with 78 though.
Come on, Dan.
Going with us.
Thanks, I don't know. What's the answer, Walt?
The answer is B, 76.
Oh. AC Adam, what's up? AC Adam, he said B too. He got it right at the end. He was right too.
Nobody wore that number for a long time, man.
Yeah, so he was Tevin Jenkins' number, huh?
John Tate. It's the last Bear before John Tate.
John Tate. He was a good one too.
That was a good one.
Well, that's kind of a good segue doing the trivias to like a new topic how are you guys feeling about the offensive line as we are gearing up to play the Packers? And does that make you feel that this game against the Packers is a little bit more losable? And I'd like to start with you, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm absolutely scared, senseless about the offensive line situation at this moment in time. Far too many injuries. We're not. I know it's pre-season, so you're not always going to have a stable lineup, in the starting offensive line. But I really think this is going to. I think the O-line's going to hinder us for the early part of the season. I think this could cause the offense to struggle quite a lot against Green Bay. Because they've still got good players on defense. Aaron Rodgers has left, but they've still got a good defense. They've still got a good running game. But that offensive line scares the hell out of me, man. And it's always the Bears thing. Like every year, it always seems to be the offensive line what's fucked up. Every year. So we should be used to it. But yeah, I'm extremely worried about the offensive line at this moment. That's probably my biggest concern going into week one. Sorry.
Go ahead, Bearsky. You want to say something?
I do, because like I agree, and the concern is legit, and like you said, we should be used to the offensive line's a concern every year. You want a good, consistent offensive line. You want the same 5 guys out there, ideally. I think consistency matters a lot in those situations and whatnot. And I think, like David said, this is a rebuild here. There is a lot of moving parts. However, I think what it truly comes down to is, as a fan, what is your overall expectation for this year? If you're sitting here going, hey, this is a 10-11 win team that's going to make the playoffs, yeah, I'd be shitting my fucking pants right now too, because that's not going to happen with Lions getting injured and Cole Kmet getting injured and all the ups and downs that come with the season. I believe the first time I was on with you guys, I said it takes a lot to sit there and go through and make a playoff run and win a Super Bowl. One thing is you got to stay healthy. Another thing is you got to get lucky. You got to get lucky too.
That's the second thing.
There's a lot that has to go your way for a magical season to happen. And personally, I have this team as 7-8 wins, and the reason I think we get to 7-8 wins is because it's accompanied by 9 to 10 losses, and the way you get those losses is through situations like this, like the offensive line getting hurt, Cole Kmet getting hurt. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that I will tell you who's about to go down next or whatever, this and that, but to go into it without the expectation of some injuries happening, I think that's very unrealistic. Now, I think what is kind of exciting here is I think with all these obstacles and everything like that, I think we as Bears fans have gotten really used to using these things as excuses over the years. I know we did it with Jay Cutler a couple times, like, hey, he doesn't have this, doesn't have this, doesn't have this. But in this league, I've watched the quarterback position transcend just about every possible fucking issue on the offense there is. Peyton Manning didn't need an offensive coordinator. He'll do it himself. Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl when he was the most sacked quarterback. Joe Burrow was in the Super Bowl recently as one of the most sacked quarterbacks. So listen, if my expectation for Justin Fields is very high, if he is who I believe he should be and who I want the Bears to have, then with all this, we still might get 10 wins and make a playoff run. And if we do, one thing's for sure, Justin Fields is a superstar. And that's why I'm so excited for this year, because you know what? Bring on some of the problems, bring on some of the obstacles. I want to see this kid overcome it all. I know I uploaded a little video. I don't know if you can play it real quick. It's an example from last year, late in the year, of him against the Eagles playoff team, the Super Bowl contending team, and just exactly what kind of threat Justin Fields brings to the table for even the top defenses in this league. I don't know if you can go ahead and play it.
Is this your first or second video, basically?
It is the second video.
Okay.
Just, training to throw outs, slants, just the basic routes. I know what actions we're going to be using, what protections we're going to be using, so I can just focus on, more in detail stuff within our offense. There's a bunch of excitement for next year. And after the Thursday night game versus Washington, I think that might have been the switch where we went like 4 weeks in a row scoring like 28-plus points. But, of course, the Bears fans are awesome. Just the support they give us to our team. And, they show up to games that are feeling like -15. They've kind of instilled that in me. So it's like, I'm making sure that, you know, I can get down safely and be able to get on to the next play. But of course, you know, you have those situations to where, you know, it might be third down or you might be in the red zone trying to score a touchdown. So really just focusing on my mechanics because, you know, I mean, when you're doing 50-yard runs and you have to get up and throw the ball, I mean, I'm tired. Like,
Yeah.
No matter how tired I am, just, you know, the ball coming out the same way. I'm doing the same thing with my body to where, you know, I can just get the completion. So, yeah.
Yeah,
me and
so-
Paulie, yeah, I mean, me and Paulie agree on a lot of stuff that we put out there and stuff, but like the one big issue I have is I feel like last year with Justin Fields rushing for 1,100 yards and pulling all this weight is an anomaly, and that it doesn't happen very often. And if it does happen very often, it's a guy like Michael Vick, it's a guy like Lamar Jackson, and it can only happen for 2 to 3 years tops. So if you're counting this year for Justin Fields as like the first year he can do this, for sure. But offensive line wise, guys, I'll give a shiny nickel to the guy who can tell me what is the one guy who is the difference between the projected starting offensive line from this year from last year. Because as of right now, we are 4 out of 5 on the projected starting offensive line week 1 from last year as to this year. And it was a right tackle.
Yeah, they're not right.
No, Riley Reef. Right
Oh,
now,
you're talking about last year.
we're on pace to start with week 1 this year as we are with last year. It's Cody Whitehair, Larry Borum, Braxton Jones, and Lucas Patrick. Riley Reef was the right tackle. This year, it'll be either Teron Armstead or I don't know. I honestly don't know, like, at right tackle. So this year, it's Braxton Jones, Cody Whitehair, Lucas Patrick, Jatiri Carter, and someone else. We are so dangerously close to starting with the same offensive line this year as we were last year. And we're 17 days away.
He's getting pulled.
Well, let's
That
look.
just broke my fucking heart. I don't even want to hear
But
that
it's
right
true.
now.
But it's true. It might
So
break
we're
your heart,
one
but
starting
it is
offensive
true,
lineman
but I
away
wanna debunk it.
from the same offensive line. And I'm freaking out.
Dave
And Paulie's
Ski.
like, it's fine.
So
But it's
go
not
back.
fine. I'm
Go
freaking
back.
out, guys.
I'm freaking out.
Dave,
You're making me
Dave.
freak out. I had to pull you just to calm down. I like how you're
Go back
freaking
and
out.
go back and look at every guy that's going to be starting that you're talking about. Your 4 guys. Braxton Jones played every game last year. I think he's better this year. Do you? Do you think he'll be better this
Yeah,
year?
for sure. I love Braxton Jones. I'm a huge
Cody
Braxton Jones
Whitehair,
guy.
Pro Bowler, one-time Pro Bowler. Believe it or not.
Meh.
You know he's got, okay, so you can do that. That's
Cody
fine.
Whitehair, isn't this his last year? Isn't he playing for a new
He'll
contract?
be on a different team next year.
Even if
Meh.
it's for another team, he's going to want to show up this year.
He'd get traded for a 6th-round pick. Meh. Yep.
You still got to have somebody out
No,
there, man.
he's awesome. I like Cody Whitehair. I like Cody Whitehair at center, surrounded by Tevin Jenkins and Nate Davis.
That's
One of the things that David brought up with me early on last year, even in the preseason games, was he saw it right away. He called me and he's like, "Hey, Tevin Jenkins keeps playing like this. This guy's an all-pro stud." And
I saw this in San Francisco.
and we know that he's got some injury concern. And I just felt that this recent news that we got about him going down, I guess it came out that it was 2 calf strains, a calf on each of his legs.
Simultaneously.
But I know, but it's weird because it's like he practiced.
Happens.
He did a after practice interview with the press saying that health is one of his concerns and everything like that and whatnot, and there was no talk about it. And then all of a sudden he's out, maybe missing some games during the week. Now he's day to day. Now he's week to week or whatever, and this and that. However, it's kind of crappy because this coaching staff doesn't really like to share injury information that they don't have to. They really do the bare minimum that they have to tell the media when it comes to injuries. But something's fishy with this Tevin Jenkins thing. And I think that there's, other than health, physical issues, I think there's some personal, maybe mental issues that Tevin Jenkins has. And I think maybe this is a lie and a cover up for him to just buy some time to get better. I think we might see him week 1 for all we know.
Where on earth do you get that from, Bearsky? Some sort of mental issue?
So
so I was thinking.
Yeah.
No, David. Go ahead. Yeah,
If I
Chris
can
is breaking
interject
up.
on that, if I can interject on that, I think what he's saying is that whenever he has a press conference, he's very he's different than all the other Bears at a press conference. He's very cerebral when he's talking. And it's almost like he's giving away too much information. So I don't know if
He only played like football like 2
he's
years.
a very
I think, in
open.
college.
I'm a personal believer in mental health issues. I'm a big fan of like sharing your emotions and sharing what you're dealing with, sports psychology and all that stuff. Like I've had my own issues in the past in that way. Tevin Jenkins has been very open about like his mental health issues. His mom passed away of breast cancer.
That's huge for a young man. Of course.
Yeah, his mental struggles, all that stuff. Like this isn't like some sort of pulling it out of left field and speculation style thing. Like he has been very open and honest about it. I don't want to speculate against Tevin Jenkins. He's one of my favorite players, and I love Tevin Jenkins. He's one of my top 2 to 3 favorite players in the Bears. I think he's a top 3 guard when healthy in the NFL. I love the guy. He has been open and honest about his mental health issues. I find it strange that he doesn't request trades from the Bears. He doesn't ask for the Bears to like get rid of him, trade him. He is very open and honest in the way that he struggles, and then the Bears kind of back him up. I mean, in my opinion, as a person who's like had a panic attack, an anxiety attack, and doesn't want that public, like if Tevin Jenkins goes to Matt Eberflus or the management and goes like, "Hey, dude, I can't perform right now because whatever the hell's going on in my head for 2 weeks, I just can't do it." Okay, man, you have a double calf strain. Don't worry about it. We'll cover for you. If that wasn't the type of support he's getting, then this is a guy who's like the coaching staff and the front office staff saying like he has a double calf strain. This guy is a trade target. He would be open for the market. He would be benched in a heartbeat. He would be free agency cut. He is a starter, and he is a top 3 guard in the NFL. You cover for that kind of guy. So for me, it is suspicious and it is sketchy, but it's in the way of like, I think the front office has been just like trying to cover for this guy for whatever issues and deficits he may have, but they want to keep him out there because they do everything they can to keep him on the field, keep him on the team as a starter, not a backup, not a bench player, as a second-round pick. They have no allegiance to this guy.
They've moved him around 3 times.
This is a Ryan Pace guy. What the hell do they have allegiance? Ryan Poles knows offensive linemen. He has a 5th-round pick starting at left tackle. He has a 7th-round pick starting at left guard. He has a 2nd-round pick. He has a 1st-round pick. He has a fucking undrafted free agent. He has a 3rd-round pick at center. This guy knows guards. He knows linemen. So to me, I agree. I think there's something fishy in the water. Double calf strains don't just happen.
But they do happen. That's the whole thing. Why the song and dance?
Do they though?
The other
I've had like a calf strain.
Yes, they do.
Double at the simultaneous a calf.
Did you guys
an
read
issue,
the
a
article
spine
about our
issue, a
strength
neck
and conditioning
issue,
coach?
and no public statements? I don't know.
The double calf strains can happen. It doesn't happen very often, but doesn't mean they can't happen.
Wait, hold on a second. What did you say, Foster?
Did anybody read the article regarding our strength and conditioning coach from Denver? It came from Denver last year.
No.
So Denver and the Bears seem to be having massive issues in 2 seasons with soft tissue injuries. And it's the same strength and conditioning coach that they had the problems with in Denver. I just read this. I think it was this morning. It might have been last night.
Jerry Jeudy had a soft tissue injury last year for the whole season. He left, and now Jerry Jeudy is out for the whole year this year.
Okay,
I personally see soft tissue injuries as fallacy. Like, guys are just built for soft tissue injuries, or they're not. I think
Do they just not exist then?
They exist.
I mean, they
but
happen.
I think they're fallacy. They happen, but I don't think like.
But you're saying that they don't
not,
with that. It's a fallacy. Okay, but they happen.
No. Yeah, they happen, but saying that a man who coaches you is causing your soft tissue injuries is also a fallacy. Because a man is coaching you wrong, saying your soft tissue injury happens. Adrian Peterson came back from an ACL tear 8 months. Is it because of his strength and conditioning coach, or is it because Adrian Peterson's a freak?
Yeah, it's because of the personal body and
his body
like,
just healed faster.
Exactly.
Everyone's
And
different.
Jerry,
Different position,
everybody-
too, by the way.
Well,
Exactly.
everybody puts a different amount of work into taking care of their body. You know, we see Tom Brady as one of the best ones out there. There are stories that the man hasn't eaten a strawberry in 30 years or whatever the hell because it's got too much sugar. So yeah, there is at that professional level, there's a ton of work that goes into it. I like to use Trey Lance as an example. I don't know if you guys saw the quarterback special and whatnot. They had an episode that it just shows kind of what Kirk Cousins and all of these Patrick Mahomes and whatnot, what they do to deal with these injuries, deal with massages and whatnot during their off time. And some guys literally dedicate most of their off time to still participating in NFL related activities like getting your body ready for the next week and whatnot. And then there's Trey Lance. Week 1, after losing to the Bears, there's a video of him throwing dollar bills at strippers at a hotel party. Kid, you're not going to survive in this league. You're not going to survive in this league doing that. That's why he's quarterback 3 right now on the trade block, because you know what? You need to put more than just the bare minimum into taking care of yourself in this league. I thought there was a real nice quote from Kirk Cousins talking about Santana Moss, that when he was on Washington, Santana Moss was there for like in his 15th year or something, still kicking it. And he said, he showed me what I need to do during my off time, during my personal time, to sit there and treat my body right, to take this punishment that this league brings year after year after year after year after year. So I think that, that nowhere in there is the difficulty of practice mentioned.
Yeah, for the record, I hate speculating on Tevin Jenkins. I fucking hate it. It's one of my least favorite things ever.
It's worthy to point out that this is a little fishy. I know Swifty said, "Hey, this is a physical injury. This and that." It may very well may be completely physical. I just think it's worthy of pointing out that this guy does have a little bit of baggage, and for some reason, this news was kind of iffy coming out and whatnot, and maybe there's something that they're trying to cover up. I mean, it's happened before. It could happen again. For all we know, there's a scenario where he's ready to go week 1.
Well, let me ask this question.
First off, let me just say, Swifty, welcome to the show.
What's up? What's up? Hey, I just want to ask the question. Whenever has a team with a guy who is young and dealt with a ton of injuries and is trying to break the injury stigma, and had just talked about it in his last press conference, how his main focus and everything he's focused on is proven that he can stay healthy, there's zero chance in the world they're going to say he has an injury when he doesn't. That is just pure craziness to me. And in fact, his trainer has actually came on to Twitter and called people crazy and said it's an injury. There's another thing going on too. His wife is having a baby. There's been 3 players who have just been excused to leave practice and go home and have a baby. They wouldn't make up an injury for a guy to do that. They said to the media, that guy's at DJ Moore's at home. His wife's having a baby. That happened a week ago. They would have done the same thing for Tevin if he wanted to go home and spend time with his wife and baby. They're not going to tell people that he's injured if he wasn't.
That's for sure.
I agree.
Nate Davis missed 3/4 of training camp.
Nate Davis has came out. There's been multiple rumors on that. People are saying he was loafing, and there's people saying he was dealing with an off-season injury, but that doesn't have anything to do with Tevin.
It does. When Matt Eberflus puts and since last year, Matt Eberflus has very much put a emphasis on competitive advantage for injury information. And personally, I think that's a foul. I think that has been
exactly, which is they give less information. They give the absolute bare minimum that they have to. It's already been confirmed what his injury is. That's a fact. It's done. He has 2 calf strains.
Day to
There's
day
been
to
guys
week to week to back to day to day.
No, he's week to week. He's been week to week the whole time. His hasn't changed. Flus has called him week to week. He's never called him day to day. He's only spoke about Tev once. You're talking about people who spoke about the injury during the reason it was weird, it was because it happened after practice. He practiced, he spoke to the media, and then 4 days go by in a preseason game, which he didn't play, and then the injury was reported after the preseason game. That's why the timing was weird, because he got hurt when he wasn't playing. But the injury is real. This isn't an excuse. Anyone saying this isn't an injury is just pure craziness. Like, why on
fully
earth would
believe
they
it's
say
real.
he's injured if he wasn't? Like,
Swifty, I mean, I'm just bringing this up. Listen, I'm not there. I'm not in the locker room. I'm not one of his medical experts. I don't know.
So
I'm just saying, just as a general, like, I'm not even saying that it is a mental thing and blah, blah, blah. I'm just bringing up, just putting it on the table, throwing it out there that, hey, you know, him having a kid is one thing, but usually teams are okay with being very public. If you have a kid on the way and something like that, like you said, DJ Moore had one, they have no problem with telling the media that, hey, this guy's taking some personal time because, well, he just had a baby, right? Or whatever. But if there is something going on, right? And like, let me throw a hypothetical out there. Like, you know, we've seen guys in this league get addicted to pills. Like, what if he's an alcoholic or something? Like, if there is some kind of relapse or something, or this, you think they just come up? No, listen, wait. What I'm saying is that there is some kind of something other than physical injuries that he comes with, and I think that's a very, very touchy subject to talk about. Like, we're all even talking about it now, and it's very touchy. But I think, like, how as a coaching staff do you handle that? What I'm saying is the only reason I even have a splinter of thought into this is because the way the information came out, because the injury did happen while he wasn't practicing. Because I agree with David. I saw those reports too. It went from week to week to day to week to week. Like, well, wait, what's going on here? At first, they didn't even come out and say what's wrong. At first, they just said he has a leg injury. You know what I mean? So
just bollocks, mate. You're talking about bollocks. I'm sorry, man, but you'll
anyone who said it's day to day is someone you're believing reports on Twitter or something.
Because it may not necessarily be I don't know.
Hold on. We got a lot of chaos going on here. Hold on, Chris. What were you saying?
Well, I just think really, Bears, whoever you call, mate. I just think really you try to make a story out of a non-story. Why would the Bears lie about it? You know what I mean? And like, you know, why would they cover anything up? They're not covering up. We're in off season, mate. You know what I mean? You just try to look at make a story where there's no story, and you haven't got the facts. Like, just as like instead of like, wait, you want to let me finish? You want to let me finish, or are you just going to carry on talking over me, man? Do you know what I mean? It's like a bit rude. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is like. Well, whatever. You carry on, brother. I can't be asked. You carry on, mate.
Listen, one thing I know for sure is I'm definitely missing something to my persona, my character here. You know, dude, I appreciate your authenticity. I really kind of need to work on getting my Polish accent back, so I can sit here and talk. You know, it's Bearski film. I got to live up to it, right? Because I've lost that thing, man. Like, but if I can sit here and go, listen, Bears will be good this year. I'm telling you.
About, man.
Listen, dude, I'm telling you. Maybe I'm wrong here, and I'm not trying to go off on a Tevin Jenkins rabbit hole and whatnot. I just think it's a weird random injury. I do know the guy's got some physical issues and whatnot, but it's been with his back before. He's an important player at this offensive line. We need him here week one, and I think there's still hope. I'm just saying all this because I still think there's hope for him to actually start week one against Green Bay. I don't think that that's off the table, and I know they're saying week to week and whatnot and this and that. There's just something that feels fishy about the way all that came out. And I'm sorry, I think we spent too much time going down that. And I didn't want to make this as big of a deal as it is, but Jesus.
I'm going to push you into a new conversation.
Please.
I think gently what we're trying to transition here, I'm going to save Paula here. Since the beginning of the Ryan Poles era, Tevin Jenkins was about to be traded to Tampa Bay for a third-round pick or something like that. There's some sort of miscommunication or unhealthy relationship with the front office of the Bears and Tevin Jenkins. that's been noted since the beginning, right? So since the moment they came in, I have loved Tevin Jenkins. I have thought Tevin Jenkins was a Pro Bowl pick, a All-Pro pick. I love the guy as a talent. I hope he does really well. But overall, like there's been some sort of weird, I don't know, relationship connectivity, like regime change, whatever it is between Tevin Jenkins and like Ryan Poles and what he's doing, and then Flus and all the offensive stuff. There's a weird relationship, and Tevin Jenkins going out with a double calf strain week 2 of the preseason after he practiced like the day before. It's just a weird look. Whatever that means to anybody else, it threw a red flag to me. It just feels weird. It could be legitimate. It could be, for sure. Totally agree. Tevin Jenkins is, all over the place in terms of like health-wise and all that stuff. But it goes from neck to back. He went out in a game with a neck injury, a spinal cord injury, and then played the next week. Like me personally, if I had a spinal cord injury in a week, I'm probably not playing the rest of the season. There's some sort of weird, like, disconnect going on between Tevin Jenkins playing hard, going every day, and between what's going on.
Let's move on.
Dan, before we go anywhere, can I just say something, please?
Oh, I don't know. We can.
I'd love clarification on Tevin Jenkins.
Man, people fucking hate me.
The chat is like, what the fuck are you guys talking
you kind of deserve it.
Move on.
You kind of deserve it.
Come at me. Sorry, Chris probably hates me.
I'm trying to save him here, but
Chris is. You got Chris brushing his
You
hair.
said
with his
Tev
hand.
might be an alcoholic, man. Come on now.
Yeah,
Like this is a good dude who's dealt with some
just a
hard
random
stuff in his
example,
career.
man.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm
that's it,
saying
man.
like
It's just a random
he's dealt
example.
with
You
so
don't know
much
what's going on
already.
with people is all I'm saying. You don't know what's going on with people.
That's what I'm
it.
saying. We don't know what's going on.
So-
Except we do know
I
he's
feel-
hurt. So to speculate anything else is just kind of crazy.
It's
in my
bollocks.
opinion.
Absolute bollocks.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. To speculate anything outside of injury is an idiotic statement. I'll be 100%
I'm an idiot.
transparent.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I
In
think
this
we,
situation, yes.
I think we
That's
just
just my
actually
opinion, of course.
No,
finally just had our first debate on BCP, where we
Yeah.
actually had people disagreeing with each other. That was interesting to hear, because there's not all of us as Bears fans feel the same way. We all have our own opinions. That's the best thing about this show, is talking about them. But a lot of times it seems like we all agree on the same thing. It's nice to see that there is disagreement on things. So I appreciate the debate. I'm sorry that it's driving the chat crazy right now.
I honestly think that the Darnell Wright.
PJ had to leave because he's like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
Thanks, Paul. I'm usually the controversial dummy. I'm joking, dude.
I mean-
you know I'm kidding, right?
Honestly,
That's why
let-
I'm right under you.
let's move on. Let's change the subject. I would like to know how you guys feel about Justin Fields playing this weekend. And let's go. In fact, PJ, let's start with you because you've barely talked the entire show.
Well,
What's
I got
up,
a 20,
PJ? How you doing tonight, man? Good to see you.
I have a 27-part question for you guys.
Please do. You got to get in your
I'm just
talking
joking.
point.
I'm joking. How do I feel about Justin Fields playing this week?
You're like, fuck, if you would have played last week, it would have been a lot better because I was at the game. You're going to say, I get it.
No, I think I'm of the opinion that without your starting line in front of you and it being the third preseason game, at this point, do you really want to play him because you're still trying to evaluate some players that you really haven't got a good look at before you cut down? So as much as we may want to see the reality of it, it just doesn't seem right. And I kind of, this is one of the first times I want to be critical of Eberflus because I thought really he should have played Fields more in the first game, even more in the second game, and then in that third game, pull back. So I'm really skeptical about where he's at on this particular issue at this time. But me personally, at this point, I don't think I would play him.
I was at first I thought they weren't going to play him, and I was happy about that. And then it came out today that they're playing him. Foster, how do you feel about that?
I think it's good, man. After the game last Saturday, man, I thought this. I'm like, man, what if he's going to play him a bunch in this game and get him rolling for the season, man? So you get in a rhythm with these guys, and maybe they could check out a few more of these guys, PJ, where they throw them in on certain plays with Fields. Scott, some of these guys. I'm just throwing this out there. It doesn't mean I'm right.
Right, I'm just saying.
I think it's a positive thing that they're playing him, man. He hasn't got a lot of game action this season at all with most of these guys. Okay, well,
Agreed. But are you concerned with the line in front of him, Foster?
Well, that's what you got to determine. So if they don't feel comfortable enough, not holding them out last week because of the line, why do they feel comfortable enough playing them this week with the line? So there has to be. I just believe the Bears are holding their cards very close to the vest. They're giving out the minimal information on the injuries, and they're not as bad as they're saying. I think within 1 or 2 weeks, man, most of these guys are going to be healthy. I believe it. That's what I read. Tev is the biggest concern from what I have read. Now, if I missed something, please tell me, because I've been on vacation the last week, and I have not, But, I mean, I think it's a good thing. Why do they do it in Kansas City all the time? Why is he always playing Mahomes? Back in the day when we were younger, Pete, they played the starters a lot. They had 4 games, and they saw who they had, and then the starters always got a quarter of reps in those games. If you remember, sometimes longer. Sometimes the last game of the season, they'd run them the first half.
Yeah.
To get them in the rhythm for the following week or whenever the season.
I think generally the preseason schedule has been changed based on the 3 to 4 schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's really what you're looking at more there. But
what I was talking about, this even started, dude, when there was 6 preseason games and 14 regular season games. That's how far I'm going back. So there's a reason for everything, and I still, one last thing, and I'll stop. Because I still consider the first week or 2 of the season like preseason, because what they do in 3 games, it's just not enough anymore. Now, the practices in Indianapolis were great because, man, did they get to see a lot against competition, man. And that last day, the first and the second day was real chippy. Guys wanted to hit. Things were really going on. That's when you start seeing the real thing, man. So, but I'm happy that they're starting Field, but it's probably going to be 10 or 15 plays at the most. So it ain't going to be a ton.
If it's that many, I'd be surprised.
That's the perfect summary. Is that when you see a joint practice and you see 15 to 20 plays against starters on the other side, then you don't need to see it in the preseason. But if you're starting against the Bills and you want to see 10 to 15 plays against the starters, then that's reasonable. And if you tear an ACL in the preseason in week 3, then it is what it is. You just get shitty luck. It is what it is. That's the perfect summary by Foster. So
was it last year or year before last that Buffalo popped Fields in the mouth in preseason?
Last year.
Yeah.
That was last year. Okay.
Will they do it again?
Yeah, that was also the year where he threw 11 for 16 against Cleveland and looked like Patrick Mahomes for 3 touchdowns. But
Shay made a good point on there too. I don't know if you guys read that with the O-line, because Buffalo is playing their starters, so we will get to have a better idea of what we have going up against the top tier team.
Yeah, Queen of the North says, I'm not going to lie.
5 reps, whatever.
Since Buffalo is playing the starters, I'll want to see Chicago full starters on display, even if it's for 1 quarter. Let's see what we're working with the old line, or where are we working with special with the old line? Yes. Well said, Chris. I'd like to know your response to them playing Fields this weekend. And I'm going to mute Bear. He can't overtake you.
I'll just shut the fuck off anyway. Don't bother me, mate. Sorry, bro. I'm only taking a piss. This is just how we're like in the north of England. Sorry, man.
Bellissimo on us.
Well, no, I'm not. Maybe am I? I don't know. But I mean, I would like to. I'm very much like PJ. Really, it's just the state of the line. What's going to be in front of him if he's playing against the Buffalo starters and he's got an offensive line what's like not played together. He's just basically together because of injuries, and also as well is if that many other starters played as well. Like say if DJ Moore's not playing, then you just think, well, what's the point? You know what I mean? Is it worth just sending somebody out for like 8 or 9 players, really? You know what I mean? Because, we're near the end of the training camp now. It's only like after this weekend, it's only 2 weeks of the season. So, yeah, I'm sort of mixed. I would like to see him out because obviously when he played before, it was just them 3 short passes that went for touchdowns. But I'm just sort of really worried about that offensive line, man. And, it's that balance that says, is it worth the risk? Do you know what I mean? Compared to reward, what you might benefit from it. So, I'm a little bit unsure, but if they do it, then I'll be happy as well.
I'm fine with them playing Justin Fields in this game for no more than 15 snaps, 10 to 15 snaps tops, and pull him out of the game. And then I want to see Tyson Bagent play the rest of the game, the entire game. Wow, everyone's just got shutting the fuck up right now. This is crazy.
Oh, not me. I mean, I thought I was muted.
No, you were muted. I muted you. You've been unmuted since. You're good to go.
All right. Am I good to go again?
Yeah, you're good to go,
guys. So I think it's and you know what? Just to about the playing field, Chris. I'm sorry for talking over you. I didn't mean to do that, but you know what? So I'm going to direct this.
I'm not joking, man. Anyway, don't worry about it, brother. Don't worry about it.
But I'm going to direct this at you. So I think one of my favorite things to do is to ask people, where they think the first couple weeks of this season are at. So let's go, man. Week 1 versus Green Bay, win or loss.
Well, we had it as a win. We have the record up here. We have this is our collective BCP record, 11-6.
Yeah,
Wow.
see, it's a win, loss, win. And I think in that 4 stretch of wins between Broncos, Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, I see all of those games. Now, like I said, me personally, I have them at 7-8 wins. And I think that 4-game win streak you have right there, I think there's some trap games there, guys. We did not beat the Commanders last year. We didn't. So to sit there and just write it off as a win is a little, we still have to go out there and do it. I know that's a very winnable game. You can sit there and make the argument that the positions that we've upgraded were the positions that helped us lose those games. Same thing with the Vikings. We didn't beat them the first time around. The Raiders, I think, might be better than a lot of people expect. We're out over there, and I think they might kind of find the rhythm a little bit by that time. And I think the Broncos too. I think, the Broncos had a really, really rough time last year with Russell Wilson. But if Sean Payton's there and can get anything going by week 4, they may be an improving kind of team. So, there's a lot of room for, some questionable games. I just want to know where you guys stand with this. In the first 5 games, where do you think the Bears are at? Because I think the more realistic thing, you got them at 4-1. I think 3-2 is a more realistic record at start. I think there's a loss in there somewhere too.
I'm just getting fucking major anxiety about this Green Bay game. It's as it starts to creep up on us. We can sit here and talk shit while we're doing the draft. We can sit here and talk shit.
That later, and we'll just talk about how much we freak out about it.
Yeah, it's because it's like now it's getting close, right? And now if it comes down to fuck me, a third, if not Hall of Fame, but great quarterback, I don't know.
Don't say it, Dad. Don't say it.
That's all.
Don't say it, mate.
Yeah, it would be awful. So I can't. We're going to win this game. We're going to win that first game.
I've thought about this logically before as well. And not only does losing to Green Bay just suck, like on every level emotionally, but you lose at home to a division rival that you play in week 17. That shit is so fucking intense for the division.
It's insane for the last
It
game.
sucks so much. You can't fucking lose week 1.
You can't. Not to
It
the
sucks
Packers with
so
Jordan
bad.
Love. No.
I've thought about it.
I'll say this, if I can interject for a minute.
Please.
I'll
talk me down.
I'll say that I'm disappointed in how Eberflus has handled this preseason, because the way he's handled it, I don't feel comfortable as before the preseason started that, we'd be prepared for week 1. The way he's handled it with the lack of starters playing, it seems like they have no continuity going to where they can, know what to expect. They have none of that. Be it defense or offense, you constantly got players missing to where I'm like, what are we for real? Because unless you've been to a practice, which I haven't, I mean, I know Foster has and Swifty has, I haven't. So unless you've really been at a practice, what do we know what we have? Because I keep hearing reports that Ndakwe hasn't even practiced yet. Nate Davis hasn't even practiced with the pads on in contact. We got all these different issues going on. Come game time for Green Bay, what are we going to really have? That's my concern.
You know what we're going to have? We're going to have Justin Fields, and they're going to have Jordan Love. And that's really what it comes down to. I'm telling you guys, the whole season comes down to Justin Fields and the performance of our quarterback. Man, if this kid is for real, if he's legit, then there's no chance we lose.
There's part of me that just thinks that Jordan Love is just like Rain Man. He's just like an idiot savant. He just like goes and parties on boats and just throws like 3 touchdowns at 350 yards and just absolutely just tears us up. And it's maybe
he's getting pulled. That's it. Finish my drink on that one because
Delayed hook.
Fuck that.
Don't worry, dude.
They're saying, why are you talking about
it's so good.
Swifty said it.
I'm right. I'm right.
It's interesting because week 1 last year.
You're not right. He's getting pulled again. He's out of here again.
Guys, week 1 last year, I called David at halftime. And at halftime, I told him, I go, after that little preseason game where Fields threw for 3 touchdowns and everybody got all pumped and everything like that, I called him at halftime during the San Francisco game, and I said, listen, I understand the weather conditions. I understand first-time coach, first-time offensive coordinator. I go, this might have been the worst half of football I've seen. And we won that game, guys. We won. There's a lot that a quarterback can do for you. I'm expecting a lot from Justin Fields. I'm expecting him to overcome these team injuries. I'm expecting him to have way more of a rapport with the wide receivers this year. Cole Kmet going down kind of sucks too, because I really expected a lot from him early on, but I think he's done a lot to address the depth in that position. I think Sam Mustipher last year at center still was a worse situation than what we're going to deal with at the start of this year.
Again, go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
Sorry, PJ. I mean, it's all right saying that, but if we haven't got a healthy offensive line who's going to block for Fields, then it's completely mute how good Fields is going to be anyway. And that's our biggest concern at this moment in time, all the injuries on the offensive line. That's how I feel about the situation. I don't believe that a team sport should all just be down to one player. It's like, football, it's like the ultimate team sport. Like in each player, everybody's got to do a job all at the same time and do it right. So like you could have the best quarterback in the world, but if he's still not got an offensive line who can block for him, like we saw last year, then he's still gonna have the same struggles.
Right. And here's the thing. If you think about what Green Bay has other than Love, they have a good defense. They have a good running game. So Love doesn't have to be, well, you're right, 2 good running backs. They don't have to have a great Aaron Rodgers to beat us. Even if, let's say, Love just throws 1 or 2 touchdowns,
I thought you were.
Oh shit! It's random trivia time again, guys. Sorry to interrupt you. The Bears have never lost a game in which their quarterback has thrown for over 400 yards. A, true. B, false.
False.
False. Have we actually had a quarterback that's thrown 400 yards?
I can remember Jim Miller throwing for 400 yards, and I believe it was a loss.
Flip a coin, man.
Right.
I have no idea.
B.
I'm going to say it's false. B.
Do the Bears
What's everybody else say?
for 400 yards?
I'm saying B.
Trick question.
I believe Jim Miller did, Foster.
Do you believe? I told you about that, Dad, dude. So I'm not going to believe what you think.
Let's just go down the board there, PJ. What are you saying here?
False.
False. Bearski. Polsky.
I have no idea. I'll go with PJ. False.
False. Chris.
I'm going to say false as well.
False.
Dave Ski. What's your answer?
I'm going to say true.
The Bears have never lost a game in which their quarterback has thrown for over 400 yards. Let's go to chat here. We got Doug Van Dorn saying B, false. Swifty saying B, false. Cliff Victoria saying B, false. Mark Kazak saying thanks, Doug. Sorry.
Has any quarterback ever thrown for 400 yards against the Packers? At all? I'm sorry,
Plank is saying false. Hair Bears saying false. AC Adams saying false. What else do we have in here?
It's got to be true because they never did it.
The Bears have never lost a game in which their quarterback is thrown. I'm going to say true.
I'm going to say true.
It's a trick question. It's true.
What's the answer there, Walt?
The answer is B.
PJ was right.
Swifty's
we have to,
Detroit game last year. I'd like to know when that became true or false. Just out of curiosity.
Me too.
Because I'm trying to go in my head. How many 400-yard passing games have we had in the last, just this century? I'll say. How many?
I'm willing to say that it's probably be hard pressed if we actually won a game where a quarterback threw for over 400 yards.
Yeah, that's probably.
Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was either Miller or Cutler or Kramer, one of those three.
I think Haney threw for 342 in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I remember someone throwing over 400 yards and we lost that game. I remember that. I can't remember who it was.
Jim Miller did it. Billy Wade did it. Sid Luckman did it.
So it's
Jim
Miller.
I knew Jim Miller did
Andy
it.
Dalton have a 400-yard game?
For the Bears? No way.
No way.
Not for the Bears, right?
No.
Cincinnati.
Jim Miller was lights out in that year when we went 13-3.
Jim Miller. I like Jim Miller, man.
So did I. That's why he's a fucking
Miller
still working for the Bears now.
Yeah.
There's only been 4 total. Miller, Wade, Blue Jack, and Luckman.
You have one more for us, Walt? What was Red Grange's legal first name? Well, this is a good one. A, Harold, B, Ronald, C, Reginald, or D, Humphrey? Ooh, this is a good one. Foster and PJ, you probably know this one really well.
I know the answer.
It's ageist.
Fuck,
I have no idea who that is. I'm looking at Foster here.
I think it's B.
Harold.
I'm going to wait for Foster's answer.
Harold Red Grange.
Oh.
Who?
I'm going to go with A, too.
I'll take A.
I think I know it. I think I do. I'm pretty sure that's it. To be honest.
I'm going with the the senior.
That would be
It probably
that would be PJ.
It probably
right?
went to the christening.
Chris.
I'm going to go with A, Harold. So Foster's saying A. What are you saying, PJ?
I'll say C.
Reginald. Polsky?
What did Foster say?
He said A, Harold.
Hey.
Going with Foster.
Chris, you're going with A too?
No, I'm going to go with D because I can say Humphrey because I think it's quite a funny sounding name.
I was going to say C because I like Reginald the way that sounds. So Chris might be onto something here.
Yeah. Is Dave Ski still there?
Doesn't look like it.
Yep.
Looks like we lost Dave.
Oh, I'm just charging my
He's
charging my
Brian. He
computer.
went to go shit in his pants over the offensive line.
Nope. You can bring that back up if you guys want.
Did you read the trivia question, Dave?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Foster just because.
Foster, I think it's because you're old.
Yeah.
I think most owners that I
Just
played
throwing
with
it
were
out
fucking-
there. The guy, you know. Yeah, exactly.
Foster has more gray hairs on his chin than I do my balls.
Sorry, guy. However, Foster is under like 95-degree heat right now, so even his memory might be a little bit, you know.
A little bit. It's been a little.
Yeah, but at least with your beard back, Foster, you don't look like a what you call it, a trim bollock.
Family Guy.
What is it? What is it?
Well, let's go to chat first. Chat says, let's see. D. Mark Kazak says D. Humphrey. Cliff Victoria says A. Harold. Keo Credo says it's A. Plank says C. AC Adams says A. King Buka World. Thanks for joining us, King Buka. Says D. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? All right, let's give the answer here. Well, I think it's A.
It is A.
Ah, I knew it. Going with Foster on that was the right way to go. Well done. Keo Carrito is pointing out that I was 1 and 2. Now I'm 2 and 2. So, thank you, Keo.
I don't have a trivia question, but I do have some statistics that I would like to share with you guys real quick, if that's okay. I know people will probably hate me for my personal opinion, but I will at least maybe try and save myself here with some numbers and some talk. So I don't know if we could upload that. I did upload it. One of the videos I made a while back at the end of the season was dropbacks versus pass attempts, because I wanted to try and figure out exactly what the percentage of plays where kind of chaos happens. So what this essentially shows is, you know, when you have a pass play called, you're dropping back to pass the ball. How many, what percentage of the time does something else other happen than a pass? And Tom Brady in the last year of his career was still the master of this. Only 4% of the time plays broke down on him. And those were probably mostly sacks, because Tom Brady, even if the offensive line gives up their, gives some pressure up and whatever, and he's got a free runner coming at him, he's just going to throw the ball at the ground. That's still counted as an incomplete pass, right? So you have a lot of the guys in the league who are good 10%, 8%, 9%, 9%, 11%, 9%, 9%. Like the whole top row, you're looking at a good number of guys that, 1 out of every 10 pass plays called, they're either winding up with a sack or a run or something other than a pass. Now, at the bottom row, you kind of see some of the guys that do rush a little bit more, like Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray. We have even Mac Jones, Daniel Jones, even Geno Smith. You're looking at more than 12 to 15% of the time when an offensive pass play is called, something else happens. Now, Russell Wilson had a really bad year in Denver, and there was a lot of chaos there in that offense, and he's at 20%, meaning 1 every 5, and it was just such an outlier to see this number on Justin Fields. 29% of the time. I mean, we're talking 444 dropbacks for with 318 attempts. So literally a third of the time that they called a pass play, it resulted in either a sack or a rush or you know what I mean, or I guess a fumble or whatever, something other than what the game plan is. And I keep going back to this. It's a video that I made a while ago, but I think this really truly tells the whole story of last year. And I think this is where we really need to take a good step forward and at least improve the efficiency of running the game plan and running the offense that's being called, because this could drive a coordinator and some coaching staff mad. So yeah, I just want to share that with everybody because it's been a concern for me. So if we're going to see progress from Justin Fields this year, if we're like David said, to rush for over 1,000 yards doesn't happen much. It's an anomaly. If we expect Fields to pass more and rush less, this is what needs to happen, and 29% is huge. That's due to the offensive line giving up pressure. That's due to Fields having early reads and not hitting them. Some of it is on him, that's due to a lot of different factors combined. You don't get there just due to one reason. So I just want to say that the Bears had a lot of problems last year. There's a lot to fix here. That's why I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs this year or anything like that. I think that's the goal, but I think have to overachieve to get to it. But this is the area of the game where I would love to see them take a step forward and improve it.
Bearsky, that was an awesome breakdown. Thank you, man. Thank you for that graphic.
Yeah, no problem.
Is anybody as amazed as I am, though, as what he's done in 2 drafts in a 1-year period from April to April? To strengthen this entire team roster.
We've been saying it on BCP and Bear and polls we trust, right?
Yes. PGT.
Guys,
I'm looking at this graphic, and there's so many factors you can factor into this. I started looking at so I take one guy, Hurts. This is at 15%. They got a pretty good offensive line for it to be that high. I'm just throwing it out there.
He's a rusher, so he's going to trust his legs on some more of the plays than more of the other guys. Like Tom Brady's not about to sit here and rush at all. That's why he's leading this category with 4%. He's going to sit there, and if you're calling a pass play, if it doesn't go according to plan, he's throwing the ball out of bounds or he's throwing the ball at the ground.
Looking at the numbers, so it can kind of even tell you who's got what offensive line. Just look at the percentages and then look at the team you're looking at. And then go back and look at their line. Just an observation. Doesn't even mean I'm right.
No,
the power of polls compels you.
Yes.
Mayhem says.
Absolutely, Cliff.
Foster, I've never seen a GM do much so quickly. You're 100% correct, Cliff. We should probably get to the chat a little bit more here. We haven't really been talking to you guys.
Absolutely.
You guys are what we're here for.
If I can move the
There's
conversation
like 4 or 5 questions
totally
up there.
different, that's like related to polls moving the needle. What is your guys' number one? I guess just what is your bottom line for a Jonathan Taylor trade?
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
What is your bottom line though? Where are you
There's no
at?
bottom
And
line.
how do you feel about it?
It ain't gonna happen. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
2nd round pick at the most, but I wouldn't want to trade a pick for a running back that we have to pay.
You got to pay him, right? Exactly. You have to pay him, and so that polls is not.
I asked this question as the number one. I absolutely think it's the most ridiculous trade in the world. Don't want it to happen. Think it's the dumbest possible trade. I'm just curious what people think about it because I want to see what people who are fans of Jonathan Taylor, what do they think about it? What do they want to give up for him, and how is it viewed? Because right now it's Dolphins, Bears, Eagles.
No, there's zero.
And there's a lot of traction on it. I'm just curious what people.
No, and like you sent me the thing with Stephon Diggs, saying Stephon Diggs also has the Bears as his number 1 team. That's cute. You'd have to trade for the guy though. Listen,
I'm just curious. I honestly just to drive the conversation and
Poles treats draft picks like gold bars. Like their draft picks are gold bars to Ryan Poles. So
I think it is strange that there is so much traction on Jonathan Taylor trade.
Well, there is a lot of
I think
traction.
it's weird. It's lazy media.
What I read something.
I just
today
think it's an odd story.
I and it just made me cringe because it said, I think it was the Bears, Denver, and somebody else. There was like 3 teams that.
It's Miami, Philadelphia, Chicago.
That's it. That's what it was. You're right.
Yeah,
but I just don't see
why. I think it's
I
incredibly strange. And I literally went through StatTrack and I tracked NFL running back trades through the last 10 years. And anything above a second round draft pick, I found to be absolutely absurd. Christian McCaffrey did not warrant a first round pick. And we're talking about a first round pick for Jonathan Taylor. If you can get Jonathan Taylor for a third round pick and then pay him, I guess I can live with it. I suppose. I don't want it, but I can live with it. A third rounder and money. I can live with it, but I don't want it. And I'm looking at the history of running back trades. Guys, newsflash, fucking red flags everywhere. It's never worked out. You never win trading for a running back. It's never worked out. It's never happened. It hasn't happened. It's not going to happen this time. But there's a lot of traction on it. And
yeah, but what about McCaffrey when he's gone to San Francisco last year? He had great success at San Francisco. He was one of their best offensive players. And that was halfway through the season, charades. I don't think your theory sort of really makes much sense. Totally.
That's a pick that makes sense, and you put him behind an amazing line, and it's a running back that makes sense, and still you have to trade a second, 2/3, 2/4, and it's a lot of value. But I feel like you put Elijah, like literally, I not knowing San Francisco can name the last 3 running backs behind Christian McCaffrey: Elijah Mitchell, Raheem Mostert, and then I don't know, fill in name, I suppose. But it's just guys that fit, right? So Christian McCaffrey costing 5 draft picks to Carolina, to me, was insane. And that's fine. I love San Francisco. I think they've made some really bad trades lately. But just to drive the conversation, I think Jonathan Taylor right now is an absolute, I don't know, nuclear radiated player. I don't want it. If the Bears play him or trade for him, I guess I have to be a fan, but I don't want to be, because it's going to be painful to suck up a first round or second round pick for Jonathan Taylor.
Why would the Bears make that trade?
Yeah. Why would they do that?
Why would they make that
connection between regimes, zone running scheme, lots of things that make sense. And this is where you would start to doubt Ryan Poles, I suppose. But Chris Jones has been brought up lately. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a legitimate thing or if it's a completely speculative thing because the Bears have draft picks. Chris Jones has been brought up for Bears. Jonathan Taylor brought up for the Bears. Anybody who's Stephon Diggs.
But let me throw this out there real quick.
Is it because of draft picks or because the Bears are actually shopping for players?
I won't say that. What I will say is Poles looks at everything. So maybe he picks up the phone out of interest and says, "Hey, what do you guys want for this guy? What if, you know what? I need something else too in this trade. If we're going to do this, you got to give me an offensive lineman or another pass rusher."
Well, that's why my opening question was, what is your guys' bottom line? What is your guys' bottom line for a Jonathan Taylor pick? I had no interest in
never make the trade, and Poles won't either. I believe.
Chris opened up with absolute rubbish. And whoever, what do you guys think it's what is it? Is it third round pick? Is it a fourth round pick? Is it a first round pick? I'm just curious.
I agree.
I hate it.
No, it's none of those. Dude, you don't. I agree with Chris 100%. Chris is right. It is absolute rubbish. Dude, the track record of Ryan Poles so far speaks volumes about value. Value. We just drafted Roschon Johnson in the 4th round. I'll make this point. You said the most important player to not get injured on the offense is Braxton Jones, and I said this to you the other night. We picked him up in the 5th round last year. So you're telling me a year later that our 5th round draft pick getting hurt could be the most devastating thing that could happen to our offensive line. Who's our 5th round draft pick this year? Travis Bell and the linebacker Sewell. Imagine if next year I'm sitting here telling you that if Travis Bell gets injured, our defense is You know what I mean? Right? Because but it's
We won't be
no
fucked.
matter where you get drafted, it matters what kind of year you have, it matters what kind of production you have. And Braxton Jones is the real deal. It doesn't matter
You
who you
mean
get
Tyler
drafted.
Scott?
But it's
Listen. The Bears are not.
to the volumes of the draft pick. I'm not
It's a
willing to give up a
worthless-
third round pick for Jonathan Taylor. No thanks.
It's a worthless conversation. They're not trading for Jonathan Taylor. They stocked up on running back earlier in the draft and in free agency. We're good to go at running back. Plus, Justin Fields will make up for any lack that we have. There's still going to be some running plays from Justin. Hopefully not as much, but there will be. I'd like to change the subject and kind of pull up here there that we actually have Mongo McMichael he has become the senior finalist for the Pro Bowl class, Hall of Fame class of, Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2024. It's next year.
Long overdue.
It would be nice if it was this year so we could see it happen with his eyes.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to bring this up because it's exciting that we had an entire show dedicated to Mongo and how his stats were better than Howie Long's. He played longer than Howie Long. He's won as many Super Bowls as Howie Long. There's no reason why Mongo should not be in the Hall of Fame. And so he's getting his chance in 2024.
Long overdue.
Yeah, let's go down the line there. We'll start with you, Foster, then PJ. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. This is long overdue, right?
I've been pushing for this since March. He's still pinned on my Twitter page at the top of it, man. Long overdue. I don't know how many. I pulled up like 4 or 5 videos and put those all out on Twitter just to show numbers and statistics. And if you go by that, he's got to be in the Hall of Fame because there's too many guys who did less that are in the Hall of Fame. So I'm thrilled, man. And it's long overdue. I had the pleasure of spending about 20 minutes with this guy once. What an excellent human being. You wouldn't think. I mean, you wouldn't. His character doesn't fit who he is, but he's just what a great guy. I talked to him for 40 minutes with a bunch of kids, and all he did was take care of those kids more than anything else. That shows you something about a person. So I'm just thrilled. I'm thrilled.
I think if you look at the numbers, he's top 5 in defensive tackles for sacks. He had a 16-year NFL career, I believe. So the numbers speak for themselves that he should be in a Hall. I mean, even if you take away all the emotion, him even being a Bear player, the fact that he, just by his numbers, it said he should be in the Hall of Fame. So I think it's long overdue.
Take him out of the Bears team for all those years, man. And what you got that messes up that defense. Sorry, fellas.
Chris, I think I know what you're about to say, and I want to hear it.
Well overdue. I mean, Mongo as a part of the team actually made me fall in love with football and made me a Chicago Bears fan. And the reason why I'm sat here at 10 to 4 in the morning talking Chicago Bears are you guys. He's a part of that. And it's great that it's come, but it's just so sad that they've waited so long, just due to his health condition. I saw him on a report today, and it's just when you see a picture of him when he's younger and you see what it looks like now, it's absolutely heartbreaking. It's like you said, Dan, it's such a shame that it could have happened this year for the guy, because I just want him to be conscious to know that he knows what's going on, that he knows that he's won it, and and that it's going to happen. So he's always been one of my favourite players, and it's like I say, we're part of that generational '85 Chicago Bears team, which really took over the world and really sort of pushed the NFL outside of America.
And what made you a fan over there in England?
Yeah, definitely. He's
part of what made you a fan, Chris.
Yeah. all of it, because as well, it's sort of like one big part of the 85 team is it's not so much that they were all absolutely great players. It were all the personalities as well what drew me to that team, like Jim McMahon, Sweetness, Dictor, the 46 defense, Wilbur Marshall hitting that Lions quarterback, which I thought he killed him. So yeah, anybody who's a part of that era of Bears football, I absolutely adore him.
I knew you would say that.
I know. I am predictable.
I saw a tweet on Twitter today, or X, whatever you want to call it, from Miss McMichael, who is Mongo's sister, just thanking everyone for all the well wishes and support of Mongo, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I had to reply to it. It was heartfelt, and his fan base. One of the things I said was his fan base in Chicago is just unwavering. We love Mongo, and part of the reason why I think he's not in the Hall of Fame yet is because of the bias, or I should say the lack of bias. Well, I don't know how to word it. It seems like they just don't want to put too many players from that team in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't just keep adding to every player. Eventually, there'll be like half the team from that season in the Hall of Fame, right, Chris? It's so maybe, that's what.
I mean, sorry, Dad. Do you think because he was always a bit of a larger life sort of personality, and I know he had his moments through his life. Do you think that might have affected the votes, and that's why it took so long for him to get in, because he lived a bit of a colourful private life?
I don't
do you
know.
think that's don't make a difference?
I don't think it made a difference, Chris. I honestly don't know. It's if you look at the numbers and you compare them to all the other defensive tackles. Yeah,
they didn't want to put all those Bears in the Hall of Fame, man.
Right.
It's
too
I'm
many
telling
Bears.
you, man. Nobody believes this, but this has been going on my entire lifetime. My father told me about it when I was a kid. The East-West Coast media bias, especially against the Bears. It's been there forever.
Yeah.
If you watch and you pay attention, you will see it.
Yeah.
And it has to do with the Hall of Fame and everything else, and the Pro Bowl selections and all that every damn year. Sorry, that's my take, man.
When you look at
They actually caught it when they started Monday Night Football, when they just totally ignored the Bears forever because we sucked.
Yeah.
Wow, we just shut up Bearski?
See, I'm sitting here and I'm kind of in a little dilemma, right? Because I think what's happening is I'm now known for fish jello and calling Kevin Jenkins an alcoholic. And so
I actually called him that. I hinted to that in one of my first 5 shows on BC.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
It's just an example of off the field personal situation that's very real. I mean, people have real lives and whatever. I'm not saying he's an alcoholic. I'm saying there's something other than physical stuff going on there. And I don't want to get back to it. I don't. Might as well put up a fucking picture of fish jello. I mean, but what I do want to say is I know I shared a little 20, 30-second video with you guys right before the start of the show of some mainstream media fucking up information worse than I do. So I don't know if we can pull up that little Colin Cowherd clip and just show the fans exactly why this guy is worthless. The first time I was on the show, I know you guys went off about him, and I was like, man, this guy's not worth our time. He's not worth our time, but that's why I kind of put together just a little. Since then, this guy. It's sad what's going on. I can't believe he gets paid to actually present people some of this information. If you could play that video, it might take some of the heat off me a little bit and move it up.
Holding up the AFC Championship, trophy over a Mahomes or a Burrow. 20 guys who are not getting to a Super Bowl. Teddy Bridgewater, Dwayne Haskins, Dwayne Haskins. Yeah, that it says can win Super Bowls. It's can't win Super Bowls.
I saw that.
Dwayne Haskins is dead.
Yeah.
Man passed. Of course he can't win a Super Bowl. The beginning of that video, he said that Geno Smith will never hold the AFC Championship trophy above Mahomes and Burrow. Yeah, because Seattle plays.
He's not good at AFC.
For the NFC, right? Exactly. Of course he won't. They play it in the. You're on TV and you don't know what the division the team plays for. You're like, listen, guys. I may be out there here saying whatever I'm saying. I don't think I'm that bad, though, right? Please?
No, not at all.
No. I mean, Cap.
Communication, it happens.
Listen, Bearsky, you love to talk so much that you've shut up PJ and Foster the whole show.
Dan's been waiting 6 months for that, too.
Yeah.
In my experience, every time I've been on here,
you've shut us off.
I thought they were both like, I don't know, shy and quiet.
Dude,
well, Foster, fucking hell.
Chris told me to shut the fuck up at some point. Like, dude, you're talking over me. Stop. Heard neither of these guys do it. So
Chris went off on you there for a second. He was like, "I'll fucking kick your ass right now. Shut the fuck up."
Dude, I heard he's getting. I heard he's got to go fund me to come here and kick my ass.
Yes, he will. He'll kick your ass, go fund me style.
I would love
to set aside $100 for this man.
Give him a hug and spread love from one Bears fan to another, man.
I'm there. I'll be in Chicago from the 12th of October to the 23rd. If you want to meet up.
My friend.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean regarding. Sorry, mate. What was that?
No. I was just gonna say. Paul was real close to me.
Sorry, I need it.
Yeah.
Do it.
But no
man.
fight, man. It's all fun.
I
But Chris,
I tell people to fucking shut up and fuck off all the time, mate. It's just the north of England in me. I can't do anything about it. But regarding Colin Coward, I mean, these boys know what I'm going to say. He's just a fucking wanker. He's just a pure fucking wanker. He's just a clickbait king, and he's just full of shit. And he's just a wanker, and that's it.
Just a wanker. A fucking wanker.
A wanker, mate.
A wanker.
So Foster and Chris are going to the Raiders game, Polsky.
Yeah.
So maybe you guys can meet up and bro hug it out.
Yeah, hell yeah. I would love to.
We'll have fun. We're all the same, man. We're all the same guys.
PJ and Foster need to talk more. Let's hear from you guys more.
I don't know what's going on.
Say something.
Come on, Pete.
I just kept thinking. I kept thinking, PJ, just let last week's game go. I know Fields didn't play, but just let it go, brother. You just look so sad and so pissed off, mate. So let it go. It was last week, man. Just let it go.
He's been upset for since 45 minutes into the last show when it was announced that Justin sitting there going, the rest of the show, just sitting there. I just did
this?
what?
Let me pitch this. I just uploaded a video, a short, 1 minute long. If you guys could play it, and then I want to hear both PJ's and Foster's opinion on the video.
Just incredible.
That's what people say, but I leave it up to the people. I don't, give nicknames for myself.
Incredible quarterback. Like breakaway speed and some of those plays where you're just blazing by people is so much fun to watch. Now, a lot of people are haters online.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I want us to get on the same page because people will be like, "Oh, Justin Fields is just a running back." I usually tell those people, "Fuck you. I hope you die." What should I say? maybe the company line that we can get on the same page. Maybe a little nicer.
Yeah, personally, I wouldn't say, F you, I hope you die, but
I'll do it for you. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
could do something different.
Usually I don't pay attention to that because the amounts of people that are dumb online is just crazy to me. I mean, I've seen so many absurd takes about whatever topic. So I mean, usually I don't pay any mind to that.
I remember one. That's a great clip, Bearsky.
Big cat. Man.
I love you guys. Thank you.
I remember watching that. Like,
Yeah.
Fuck you. I hope you die. I was like, whoa. That's insane.
Yeah, but what's the company line here? Guys,
like, I would never want to say that on my own podcast. Well, I thought to myself, well, fuck you. I hope you die.
I relate to Barstool Big Cat so much. I'm with him though, man, and I truly feel that's the case for this season. Like, I don't want Fields to have another 1,000-yard rushing season, and he said it before too. He wants to break the passing records. Like,
yes,
yeah, like
if he does, he'll be MVP
by a long shot. I think there was a hot take that came out recently. I forgot who it was exactly, but somebody said that Fields has more of an upside than Jalen Hurts. I've been saying that the whole time. Like, he's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster, he can make all the throws. There is more upside. There's just less talent around the guy, man.
I got into it with somebody on Twitter that's pretty good. I think he was calling me a damn idiot and all this stuff because he was saying how Hurts is top of the line, blah, blah, blah. And then they're showing the Bears game literally with the Bears are down by 3 points in the late in the fourth quarter. And I said, that's not an elite quarterback. That's a complete lack of talent on the Bears side that he was able to do it. I mean, I might have been pushing the gun there, but I'm like with Justin Fields, man. I've been told all my life I can't do things or I'm not going to do this or amount to much and all this crap. Doesn't matter what anybody says, man. You just go out there and you do what you got to do, man. That Philadelphia game last year, this was a particular thing with this one gentleman where he just was going on and on about how much Hurts is better than Justin Fields. And I think anybody who's seen Hurts, Allen, or Justin Fields, because this was the conversation again, can agree. If you've seen it, Justin has way more upside than both those guys, in my opinion. I don't see how you can't see that.
No, I mean, yeah, I think.
I mean, even those guys, their first years, both of them, Hurts and Allen, look at their first seasons where they played 10 or 12 games. For Hurts, it's really last year is his big year, man. That's it.
Yeah. And you think about it, Foster, I mean, a lot of that is due to that the Eagles improved his weapons as well. So as soon as they improved his weapons for Hurts, you saw the improvement. If you haven't got, don't matter how good you are at a quarterback, if you got a receiver who can't get open, don't make a difference, does it? Yeah, and that's obviously what the Bears are trying to do for Fields this season, bring in better talent for him to target. So hopefully, we're going to have similar results as what Philadelphia had with Hurts.
I had a statement too. I said, you take Jalen Hurts and you put him on the Bears last year. There's no way.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
No way he does what Fields did last year. He don't have those numbers. He's on the ground.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't even play the whole season. Yeah. He's probably injured. I know he's mobile, but he's not Fields.
Yeah.
I never got to the company line, did I? Fuck no. You. I hope I never heard there. I got to the company line.
PJ, what's up?
That's not true, though.
As far as the company line goes, I mean, I think, Fields is a class act. So he didn't want to get sucked into that banter there. It's the bottom line is, he has to show a lot this year. There's no excuses. I mean, he has his weapons. He has a second year in the offense. He has hopefully an improved line. But like I told you guys earlier, the biggest drawback for me is I haven't seen what Fields is yet because of his lack of playing time in the preseason. Yeah, he threw a screen pass, went for a touchdown. He threw another screen pass, went for a touchdown. Threw another screen pass, went for 10 yards out of bounds. I'm glad he's working on his underneath game. But I still haven't seen it all. And again, for the people who've seen him in practice, man, you guys have seen something I haven't seen yet. I like the chemistry that him and Moore has. but we really seen a chemistry between him and Claypool? Because Claypool is now injured again. So where's that chemistry at? I mean, him and Mooney, we haven't seen it in the game, of course. So I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping it's there. So it's built on a lot of hopes right now. I feel like I was trying to say earlier, I feel less positive about where we are with our offense or our team as a whole than before the preseason started.
I'd say what would be interesting, PJ, is if we had this conversation about a month's time after the first 4 games. It'd be really interesting to go back and sort of review that sort of initial quarter of the season to see how things have panned out. What you just sort of suggested. So, yeah, I mean, we have had a small sample size with Justin Fields, but I just think they've got a lot. I know I shouldn't really bring up the Colts up anymore, PJ, for you, mate. But I think they got like a lot out of them joint practices with the Colts. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the reasons why they didn't play him last week. Even though I think they should have played a lot more starters because it was such a disjointed team. It just was such a disjointed effort, I thought, last week. And I think, we want to see a bit of continuity sometimes.
Yes. I mean, because one of the drawbacks I had with our previous coach was the fact that he didn't play our starters a lot during the preseason. So when we started off playing Green Bay just handed this to us, and Green Bay wasn't even playing all that great. So, but we didn't have no continuity at all, so we couldn't even compete with them. And I see that same trend right now. It's like, okay, we haven't done nothing to gain some type of continuity. So what are we going to look like that first game? So to Shorty's point, I'm like, man, I am now more fearful of this Green Bay game than I was when we made these predictions, because I'm like, oh, we haven't shown nothing. So what's going to happen?
At the start of the podcast, did you say you were excited with me?
Huh?
At the start of the podcast, didn't you say you were excited with me? I said, I'm not going into week 1 fearful. Not doing it, PJ. I get it.
I didn't say that. I didn't say anything at the beginning of the podcast.
Oh, maybe it was Foster then. Someone out there agreed with me. I know at least one.
I'm not fearful, dude.
I'm not fearful either, PJ and Foster. Foster's got the right mindset. Although it's hard to be fearful when you've experienced like 80 Bears seasons and seen all the ups and downs, right? No, listen, guys, the thing is the quarterback position can transcend all of these issues. Yes, there are issues popping up, but we've seen it before, and I brought it up earlier. Aaron Rodgers winning a Super Bowl, being the most sacked quarterback. Joe Burrow even appearing in a Super Bowl, being the most sacked quarterback. Yeah, there are offensive line issues all over the league. What we're trained to do as Bears fans, due to our history, is to make excuses based off these facts. I'm done making excuses. I'm looking at these things now as obstacles that need to be overcome, and I believe that Justin Fields is good enough to overcome them. And when that happens, when he still goes out there with 60% of the offensive line hurt and still gets a win in week 1, and like I said, I have him as a 7-8 to 8 win team. Sorry. If the Bears go out there and still pull out 10 wins and make a playoff appearance or something, guys, we got a superstar. And that's an opportunity in front of us that we have not had in a long time.
Don't let Dan.
Yeah,
speak. Go, Chris.
I mean, but all the things what you just went through are the things what are concerning me. You know what I mean? It's sort of like the injuries to the offensive line. That's so important. You know what I mean? It's just like I just don't like generalizations, and I mean this week I was quite confident, but after hearing about all the injury news, and not just the offensive line, but like Brisker's been out for ages. Claypool's injured again, like PJ said. So I'm not like, I'm slightly concerned about the Green Bay game. I'm not as 100% as I was before, sorry.
No, and that's totally fair, Chris. But I feel like we're doing what we've done before, and what we're conditioned to do is sit here. We've already got the reasons ready to go for why we're about to, not beat the Packers. And I'm sitting here telling you, no, that's a win. It has to be. If we lose to
it has to be.
Week 1, man, this whole season might get derailed because of that.
I listen. I've been trying to talk for like the last 15 minutes, and I realized I was.
Who did that?
I typed in chat like I'm about to get pulled for what I'm about to say. Just wait for it. And I was like trying to like interject and like
Sorry,
talk.
man.
I realized I was mute. I muted myself. It was my fault. Listen, guys. Here's what worries me. Okay. I'm gonna fucking come out and say it. Okay. It's my fucking podcast. I can do what I want. I'm gonna say it.
Don't follow my example, man. I think I've lost some. I think Swifty might block me. Like, don't go down my rabbit hole.
No,
that'll make his new one.
Listen, Chris. In fact, this is what prompted the argument with you, where you almost kicked Bearlissimo's ass online. If you could have like jumped through the screen, when I was saying that I think that Justin Fields needs to work on his throwing. He needs to have a better flick of the wrist, get rid of the ball quicker, and that's what kind of prompted that whole argument between you two. So what I'm going with here is, I want listen. I'm gonna get out of my seat for this. This is the whole fucking reason why we're seeing everyone talking about Tyson Bagent right now. Everyone's making videos about him. The media is asking all the questions about the second quarterback. Is there a competition? The reason why they're doing this in all the press conferences, everyone's talking about him. The show's thumbnail has been about him, is because the dude fucking gets rid of the ball like yesterday. He gets rid of the ball.
One time.
And boom, 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 boom. It doesn't matter what your competition is. If you're playing third string, second string, what you're looking at is the product of himself. And he's displayed that he can process things very quickly. His footwork is excellent. He's moving around in the pocket. He's getting in and out of the huddle quick. He's getting rid of the ball quick. That's what I have been kind of pounding the table for with Justin. I just wish he would be able to do that. So I'm not saying I want him to replace Justin. Justin is our guy. I love him. We're moving forward with him. But if we could just merge a little bit of that, maybe he can learn a little bit from Tyson about how to get rid of the ball just a little bit quicker. Get the ball out of your fucking hand a little bit quicker. This offense can function on a fucking mechanical level that you see all the great teams use. So I'm sorry. That was a long rant, but I was trying to get going on it, but I had muted myself, so I couldn't talk for like the last 10 minutes. So it came out very abrupt.
I know I talk a lot.
Just get rid of the ball quicker.
I'm going to talk a little bit more.
Hold on, BearsCountry, hold on. Even Justin himself said it last year. In the beginning of this year, he said it. He needs to work on the short passing game. The short passing game is getting rid of the ball quickly. It's from here to there. It's boom, boom. So if he can do that, that's where Justin takes the next step. And that's what we're all seeing from Tyson Bagent, that all of our eye tests are telling us is true. And we're like fucking pounding the table for this kid to be quarterback too. A lot of us are, or at least to make the team. Please don't cut him. Please don't put him on the practice squad. But at least keep him around, because if there is, knock on wood, an injury, at least we know we have somebody that can come in and perform well. I'm done talking. Go ahead, Paul.
I'll talk over everybody else, but I won't talk over PJ.
I'll say to Shorty's point, just one thing real quick. You're right. Justin Fields does need to work on his short passing game. And in working on this short passing game, to date, he has only thrown one short pass in preseason. We would all agree games are different than practice. Yeah, in practice, you can get somewhat simulated, but no one's going to touch him in practice. So he can sit there, but he can work on things. But he's actually only thrown one short pass in the whole preseason. So where is the proof that he has worked on it? And where's
Wait, hold on. It's my turn. I'm talking. PJ, do you mean the one short pass that wasn't a screen or a dump off to Herbert? Because we've talked about this as a joke last week that even the throw to DJ Moore was behind him, but it did end up working out in his favor. And again, it's those passes that he has to work on. And
to answer your question, Shorty, the short pass was to Blasingame in the flat. The other two are screen passes. I don't consider those short passes. I consider the short pass the one pass to Blasingame. So if he needs to work on that, let's get some working on it.
Well, okay, fair enough. I feel like I just blew up the channel.
No. So, I want to answer to that. The preseason is what we see as fans, right? Then we sit there and we trust the reporters that are there at the practices, that are there seeing way more snaps than just a couple snaps that we saw, talk about it. And one thing that stuck out to me this year was Jeff Joniak, top there. I heard, listen, these guys have been calling Bears games my whole life. Pretty much. I trust their opinions and I trust their eyes. Tom Thayer was a lineman in the league. Jeff Joniak's a great eye for, and they're truthful. They're honest. They're not afraid to talk them down as well as talk them up. Early on, they said, hey, the one thing that stuck out in this OTA or in this practice was Fields is getting rid of the ball quick. Fields is going 9 for 10 in practice on it. Like I said, there's be a lot more drives than we do, and for Fields to not address his issues would be a problem. He knows what his problems are. He knows the short passing game and that quick release and everything like that is a problem. I even pointed out in a video early on last year, and I want to say in week 4 against the Giants, he pegged a lineman in the head. And I came out and said, listen, even with Matt Nagy in that first year of him starting, there were, I believe, 2 throws where we had a defensive end just jump up and snag the ball as an interception. Your release is too late. Your throw is too low. Even with the deep throws, they're a little bit more of like a bullet rather than like an arc where it drops in. And if I can spot out those fallacies, you best believe they're sitting there in the quarterback room playing tape back and talking about every little detail of the footwork, the mechanics with the throw and everything like that. And Fields knows what he has to work on, what he has to get better on. And the 2 guys that have been covering the Bears for a while even said, hey, one thing that stuck out is he's getting rid of the ball faster. Now, Tyson Bagent looks good because of the fast release and whatnot. But like I said, that's a one sliver of all of the things you have to do as an NFL quarterback to be successful in this league, right? Listen, Justin Fields is our guy. If you want to make an argument for Tyson Bagent as QB2 or whatever, this and that, I'll entertain it. I get it. But if he is our guy, if Fields is our guy, then we shouldn't even be worried about QB2.
Well,
really, we should be worried about how much we can get in trade for Bagent next year.
I'm not trying to take anything from Fields. First of all, I'm a big.
Neither am I.
I don't think you are. I'm saying.
Oh, but he's not perfect. It's fair to point out the faults. It's fair.
I'm just saying. I don't think that the fact that when you're in practice, the defensive players will hold up and not hit Fields, and then Fields still be able to make that pass. So you can't get a true evaluation on what he's doing. I mean, because in the games, they're not going to pull up on it. So that's what I'm saying. So how can we really see what's going on? Yeah, they say in these reports that he looked good in practice, but this defensive lineman who's coming up the middle, he's stopping way before he even gets to Fields. And so you're not knowing if that pass would really be completed. Whereas in a game, like with the one pass to blasting game, okay, we saw that. We only saw Fields such periods of short time that is ridiculous compared to Mahomes. Mahomes is what, the MVP, and he's playing all these preseason snaps, getting his rhythm with his guys in real game time, as opposed to what Fields is doing. Fields is not doing anything, and that's what I'm saying. That's the one issue I have with Eberflus. It's like, dude, play your quarterback for he can get up to par to where we don't have it. To Chris' point, we don't have a slow start for that first quarter of the season because we're still trying to get in rhythm. Get in rhythm in preseason. That's what it's for.
PC, he's still pissed off about them not playing him in the Indy game.
Not just the Indy game, but even the Titans game. He only played, 5 plays or whatever it was? It's like, dude, you need to play your quarterback. Or else we're going to be in the first quarter of the season saying, why is we having a sluggish start? Why don't we have things going yet?
All season long it's going to go on. You can be talking about this.
I've seen it before under the last regime. The last regime did the same thing where we started off, we're not going to play our starters because we had a great practice. We had a great practice, so I'm not going to play the starters in the game. Then come the first game this season against Green Bay, we came out flat. We didn't even catch up to par till like the 5th game, and then by the end, the season's already over with.
Preach it.
I think Swifty nailed it. You're just mad because you had to go to it.
I'm telling you, if I wasn't there, the fact that you're not playing your starter, that you're playing your starting quarterback, and you're trying to get on an offense that was horrible last year. You're trying to get your quarterback up to par, but yet you haven't been playing. You played 5 plays against
Aaron Rodgers. We're not sitting Tom Brady. We're sitting a guy that still needs reps, and I think that's what PJ is saying. He still needs reps, right?
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you're right. Matt Nagy did.
It's
crazy. One of his huge regrets because Matt Nagy even came back and said, "Hey, I wish I would have played Trubisky more." But we're talking about a quarterback that reps, like this guy's went through his college career. He's had a lot of football playing time. But I hear you. I'm with you. I still feel that they should be playing these guys because this isn't a figured out thing yet. No, we people got people criticize them for throwing that screen pass to DJ Moore a little bit behind. And then other people were like, you're crazy to criticize Fields for a touchdown throw. But you
because
crazy?
we have free passes, right? So everyone has to bitch about that.
Short passes and screen passes. So for you to be concerned about a screen pass being a little bit off target is not crazy. It's based off of what happened last year. I get it's a touchdown, whatever, but if focusing in on Fields, that could have been a better throw. And that's what you're seeing with Tyson Bagent that makes you like him so much. Because he throws the screen pass to where it needs to be. And even if it's a 2-yard loss or 3-yard loss because, the play failed or the team failed, you're seeing the quarterback operate how he should operate. And you're not always seeing that from Fields. No, PJ, I feel you, man. I feel you, and you're right. This coaching staff's a little bit too full of themselves. They should be playing these guys. They should be playing Fields. I agree.
PJ, I feel slightly guilty now, but I'm actually going to get to 2 games because of your Colts experience. I feel slightly like, I don't know if I should enjoy myself as much as I'm going to do because of PJ's poor bloody. Didn't get Justin Fields, took all his grandkids, took all his family, all of Indiana to go to the Colts game, and then Fields didn't play. So every time when I'm sat there with Foster or with Dan, I'm just going to have that slight tinge of sadness to my heart for you, PJ.
I feel it myself, PJ. It's like, they fucked us over, PJ. They fucked us over. We're your family here, PJ. PCP is part of your family now.
It's even more than that, though. That's what I'm saying. When I remember, like you said, all these games, all this time, and I'm seeing Mahomes out there. From a strictly football point of view, Mahomes is out there in these preseason games, and he's an MVP. And our quarterback got what, 5 plays?
3.
3? It's like, oh,
He has like 5, yeah, 5 plays.
Mahomes has got 17. Somebody said passing attempts.
I love it. I love the passion, man. Like I feel like, hope God willing, we're all still doing this a year from now. Like you're still gonna be fucking talking about this Colts game. It was a preseason.
Yeah. I hope I'm still breathing a year from now, dude.
Can I address Swifty real quick? He says, I think what PJ is missing is how important the scrimmages were versus the Colts. Again, scrimmage is different than a game because they're going to pull up. They're going to pull up in the scrimmage to where they'll still allow you to make that pass. Whereas in the actual game, you don't get that. So how does Fields respond to that? That's the point I'm making. It's like, yeah, scrimmages do have a point, and I agree with that. I'm not taking anything from Swifty there. But the other part is, man, you got to be able to have that live fire.
Chris, we can still hear you. I don't know what's going on with Walt, but it's going to give people
I could. Yeah, I can. Well, I don't know. It feels like we're in some sort of weird Twilight Zone. What's going on the screen, man?
Yeah, I had to take a walk. Somehow you were like flickering in and out. Walt, you were like flickering in and out, like you're. You put the headphones down on your computer on your keyboard or something. I think we're good now. There we go. Yeah,
guys, can I?
Like seizure.
One thing that I'm really proud of tonight, whatever the, no matter even if I've developed some people that hate me and whatever and this and that, I don't really care. One thing I am proud of is this podcast has gone on for 2.5 hours now, and I know you guys after an hour like to shoot this shit.
This is what we're doing now. We're shooting the shit now.
No, but we talked for 2.5 hours about Bears. Whether it's a positive opinion, negative opinion, or whatever, this is what it's all about, guys. I love it, man. I absolutely love just sitting here and discussing all these different topics and whatnot. So
I think that's the perfect time for because we talked about this last night.
Yep.
I think it's like the perfect time for me to, if Cliff Victoria is still here, for me to pull up Chris Watt's meal that he had tonight.
It's not worse than okay, perfect.
Whoa.
He said he starts off with it's not worse. Okay, it's definitely not fish jello. Okay. So, Chris Watts, please explain what the fuck is going on right here.
Yeah, but don't you like the presentation? The presentation of that dish is amazing.
Yeah, you just slammed it down on a piece of white bread on a dish.
Yeah.
I'm so I eat that every single night, dude.
Oh my god, that's such a great comment.
I like this. I'm standing up. It's kind of a new thing for me right now. I'm enjoying this. This is fun.
I just want the presentation today. Putting the fork in the can added a bit of class.
Well done. That was a classy move, Chris. Please talk us through for the people that are listening to this in audio stream. What we're looking at here is a can of baked beans that's been roughly cut open, and the lid is still connected to the can, just peeled back like a fucking sardine can. And it's been slammed down into a piece of white bread on a plate and a spoon shoved into it. So, Chris, I would love for you to please explain this meal that you just.
Wait. Are we sure that's a spoon?
It could. Well, yeah. Yeah,
well,
we're just gonna.
It's the only stainless steel ware
could be anything
Chris
guys.
has.
Yeah, that's right, Foster. It's the only fork I own. I just have one fork like some sort of tramp. But well, I like to explain it.
Chris, is that your only spoon or fork?
I've only got a spoon and a cup and a mug and a bowl on a chain, and they're all metal.
And the reason,
Well, I just like to say, regarding the dish, it's for the modern man, the man who's on the go, can't waste 2 minutes putting his beans in the microwave. So it's for people who are on the go, high energy, protein hit, and also presentation wise, it's not too bad.
That's a very unique company too. It's by Sainsbury's. It's in a tasty tomato sauce. Look at that. Look at that, Cliff.
Yeah.
That's gourmet. Tasty tomato
Yeah.
sauce like Sainsbury's. Never
Oh
heard of
yeah.
that.
and when you pick up the
I'll
can,
say
you got
it's-
a nice little wafer to dump some beans on. That little round wafer.
That's it, mate.
Guys, I
Made
think
that, right, Chris?
I've made an impact on as much as I can do. I've bombed this show tonight, so
He's
I
like,
do have to
"Oh,
take
you guys
off.
are talking food. I'm out of
So,
here. We're done talking
Thank you
Bears."
so much. Yeah, no, really. Well, no, thank you guys so much. I'll probably participate in the chat for another little bit, so I'll still be signed on and participating, but I do have to log off and go. Thanks for everything, guys, as always. Like I said, sorry for fucking.
No, Paul, you're good, man. You're good. Don't
I mean,
worry,
to
don't
think
worry.
that a
Don't
Tevin
worry about
Jenkins' opinion is gonna do me worse than fish jello is kind of crazy. Jesus.
Don't,
I
hey,
thought
don't
I
worry,
couldn't
man.
go
We'll,
any
we'll
lower,
keep the
but-
fish gelatin alive, Paul.
Shit, dude.
That's not going anywhere. That's
Yeah,
PJ.
I mean, we should have just tried to save the Tevin Jenkins conversation by showing the fish jello. I don't know. Right? So many things I could have done differently, right?
That's
Just like everybody else in the world.
I appreciate you guys. It's been fun. Always love your opinions, and yeah, thank you so much. I'll be in
Paulski,
chat. Have a good night.
Seriously, appreciate you, like the videos that you're making and presenting for us here. They really help out.
I do something well, so
you do a lot of things well.
Don't be
You
so
talk really
hard
well.
on yourself, man. You're good.
All right.
It's all good.
Tough on myself. That's
Life.
believe me, I don't care. Dude, I don't know. Like I said, I'm a wild card. Sometimes I'll bring some stuff to the table that's not a popular opinion.
Listen.
I don't really care.
We had a great time with you tonight. You were fucking
great
slinging
time
some
too,
Bears
so.
knowledge. Your buddy was slinging some serious Bears knowledge. Dave Ski.
Yeah, I
And-
think somebody commented, like, how does that guy not have an iPad in front of him? Dude, I was thinking the same thing. Like, snaps to the number of some of these. Holy shit, dude. Like, he impresses me, and I've known the guy for a while. So, yeah. Thanks for all your time, guys.
Well, tell us where. Just before you
Cool.
leave, tell us where we can find you.
So
let everyone know about your
YouTube.com/@BearsCountryPodcast if you want to leave any of your complaints. I'll make sure I read them there. I'll also be out in week 1 before the Bears Packers game, doing my Bears tailgate trivia again with my brother-in-law Patrick. So we'll be out there. We'll be handing out Just Incredible Fields t-shirts, and there's no way I can sit there and hand out Just Incredible Fields t-shirts if I don't think this guy's an actual superstar and is going to get the job done this year. So I've been preaching that the whole time, and no matter who's smashing the panic button, no matter what injuries happen, this and that, guys, the only important position on this team is the quarterback one position, and it's Justin Fields. If that succeeds, all these conversations are all pointless and meaningless. And I hope that's the case, because I'm so excited for this year. So thank you so much for all your time. YouTube.com/@BearsCountryPodcast. Or like I said, I'll be out there week 1 before the game, probably in the 31st Street tailgate, handing out t-shirts, asking people trivia and things like that. And yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook too. So just anybody got anything to throw at me, hit me up. I try and respond to everybody. So appreciate everybody's time. And thank you. So,
Thanks, Paul.
Paulski.
See you later, mate. See you later, mate.
I'll talk to you soon, man.
I'll talk to you guys for sure.
All right.
Thanks for joining us, man. Great. We'll see you. You'll be on again. Real
Take care.
soon. We know that.
Maybe.
Thank Dave. Thank you, Dave.
I might be fucked.
And thank you, Dave. Yes.
Where's Dave, man? Hey,
Well,
where's Dave, man?
He went to sleep.
Well
So-
done on your Chicago accent.
He kept him up longer than he expected to, so I know he had a good time. He texted me. So thanks again for everything, guys. Have a good night. I'll be on
Later,
the
Paul.
Take care, mate.
Dave's catching up on all of the messages he missed. You know the Cheech and Chong routine that is.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Dave's not there, man.
No, man, this is Dave. Did you get my messages?
Hey, Dave's here, man.
Dave's not here. Who?
Dave's not here. He's not. He left. Dave's not here.
You don't. Are you telling me you don't? You're not. Wait, hold on a second. Are you and I the only one getting that reference, Chris?
No, I think Foster does.
Fucking Cheech and Chong
Foster does.
record?
I'm the one who said it. I hope I know.
BJ's going, look, I'm an ex-policeman. I ain't saying shit.
Let me address this question just because somebody else might ask this. Mark Kazak says, what's Paulski's Twitter? I don't remember, but I know it's on his YouTube, and you can find him at Bearski Film.
I'll tell you right now.
Okay, he's got it.
Oh, you keep talking while I pull it up.
I ain't talking.
Hey, Foster. Foster.
What's up, Chris?
Have you, like we're going to the Raiders game, have you got any sort of pre-match rituals? Do you like to meet up in a certain place or go to a certain food place beforehand, or are you just sort of like, don't matter, I'm just straight in, come on, Bears?
I don't think we should do my old ritual. It's not good. It's called stuff yourself with a tons of food and drink a bottle of Jack Daniels. So we'll pass on that one.
Oh, whoa. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing anyway. I don't know about you, man. I'm doing Foster. I'm doing Foster. It's exactly what I would expect. Excuse me.
I was just gonna wing it. I know we'll have fun, man. I know that. So.
Right, mate. It's gonna be great, and I just think if you had any sort of pre-match rituals before you went to a game, because I know, if some people have some strange things.
Man, it was always get up and get everything ready and get down there and throw the grill on and drink some drinks and hang out and watch the game.
And hide the bodies behind the paneling.
You like my new paneling? I got plenty of paneling down here, man. It's like 5 times as much.
Yeah, when he sort of disappeared off the screen earlier on, I thought Foster's checking up on a new body.
Right. I thought I heard something moving in the rec room.
It's uncool.
That's his routine. Hide a body before a game.
Before every game.
And if lose, you can go back and kick the shit out.
2 seasons after all these years, man. Oh, well, I'll keep trying.
Man.
Chris won't be going back to London.
Oh, dear me. Hey, well, I can actually, this is how stupid I am. I've been waiting 4 weeks for my visa for America. And then after it came to 4 weeks this week, so I started thinking, I better sort of chase it up. And I only found out that I've been applying for the wrong visa for 4 weeks. So luckily, I've applied for the right visa, which only took a couple hours to come through. What a fucking idiot.
It's funny, man. It's funny.
You get all the way to the time you're about to leave, and you're like, "Why isn't my passport here yet?"
Yeah, it would have sort of so I kept thinking, should I apply again, just in case this application that worked or it hadn't gone through properly? And I was talking to my sister, she went, no, you've been applying for the wrong thing. You just apply for this ESTE visa. It takes about half an hour and you get the results more or less straight away, which happens to what a dickhead I am. So I will curse you Americans. I'll go, you Americans, how long does it take for this bloody visa to get sorted out, man? And it was me, as usual.
Then don't follow any of our American games, man. What do you think of that shit?
Oh, man.
You brought yourself into this shit just by watching the Bears, dude. That itself is just insane because we would never be having this conversation if the Bears didn't go to England in 1985. This would never be happening.
Yeah.
No,
you're right.
Guys, we are shooting the shit, and Cliff's asking, where is the shoot the shit logo? So let's just, It's true. It's true. We are in the shoot the shit mode. We should have just done that. Because
Fucking Cliff.
Let me just say for the chat, for everybody in the chat, I want to say thank you guys for joining in with your comments, your questions. Appreciate each and every one of you guys in the chat. I just want to give that shout out to you guys. So thank you guys.
Honestly, seriously, guys, you guys are what makes this go around. So honestly, thank you so much, every one of you. Skylark99, it's great to see you again. Haven't seen you in a while. Mo Bierman, Hair Bear, great to see you again. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Keo, you has been hanging around. We love seeing you, Keo. Mo Bierman, you've been around. We love seeing you, Mo.
Leo Factor 1. Yes.
AC Adam. Yes. Queen of
Brian
the North.
Gilmore.
I hope Queen's still here. I said if she wanted a link, I could send it to her if she wanted to come in.
Is she here?
STC is here too.
Yeah.
Raging Oracle.
Little Puppet for Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we can't forget Mark Kazak and Doug Van Dorn.
No.
Cliff.
Obviously, Cliff. Sorry.
J2K was here earlier.
Real Factor.
J2K.
Fair Truth 9 is here.
Little
Bear
Puppet
Truth 9 was
right?
here.
There's a new one. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Brian Gilmore.
James Ford. Brian Gilmore, yes.
Swifty.
Doug Van Dorn. Some guy named PJ was in the chat too.
Some guy named PJ.
Don't like him.
I thought we blocked him last week, dude. How
I saw Mr. Shorty in there too. That fucker.
Yeah.
That picture you sent me, PJ, were out of order.
There are like 6 questions I starred. I don't know if you want to look at them, man. I think they're extra questions too.
We should add. Yeah, let's get to the chat.
Okay, so Keo, Keu. That's like Keu Carito.
No, you're reading the wrong one. No, it's the one on the screen there, PJ.
No, I'm sorry. Because that one was highlighted and he says PJ say my name, so I wanted to be able to say his name.
Sorry.
Why does Jalen Johnson think he's a shutdown corner?
Well, the interview I saw, he didn't say anything about being a shutdown corner. He said basically that he's a good corner and he intends to improve. I can't remember word for word. Did anybody see that interview about 2 weeks ago with him regarding the contract?
I mean,
yes, I did.
I mean, sorry, PJ. I mean, excuse me.
Yeah.
The only thing I heard really sort of got
the PJ.
But I mean, yeah, you know what? I've completely forgot what we're talking about because it's like 20 to 5 in the morning. My brain's gone.
Why does Jalen Johnson think he's a shutdown corner?
I mean, yeah. Basically, the sort of impression I got was that he realised that he wasn't quite an all pro yet, and that's why that's why he's going to play out this year. Obviously, hopefully, have a really good performance, and then get his contract next year. I mean, he is a shutdown corner, but he don't get enough interceptions really. I think that's part of his game that he really needs to upgrade. But then again, if he's shutting the guy down and the opposition's quarterback's not going his way, then what can you do? But that's the impression I got. Like, I think he seemed quite sort of like good at self-analysing himself because he realised that he just isn't quite there yet to get a massive contract. So that's sort of the impressions I got from the little I've seen of the interviews.
I think if you go back, I'm sorry, Shorty, was you saying something?
I'll go last.
I think if you go back to the interview he had with Carm from Super Bowl week, and Carm from CHGO was asking him about getting paid in his contract. He believes he's more of a shutdown corner because of the lack of passes thrown his way, as opposed to he don't have any pass breakups or any interceptions because he don't have that many passes thrown his way. So he thinks he's more of a shutdown corner because of the lack of passes.
I'm going to answer that he thinks he's a shutdown corner because he was in a 3-4 defense when he was more of a man defender. In this case, he's being asked to play more in the zone, so he's not. His role is different. So that's why it looked. A, he was in a new defense last year. B, he was in an entirely new defense that wasn't to his skills from the previous one. So can he continue to be a shutdown corner? I think Lil Puppet for Christ is the next question, because maybe, but maybe he's a man cornerback instead of a zone cornerback.
Okay, he does do more off-ball coverage now.
Like tonight. Look at me, I'm standing up. Look.
Boom.
You look like Dad, you like you work in a call center, mate, doing like a sales sort of picture when he stood up.
Where's my music, Walt? Where's my music?
That man, hey Dan, you can't look any more white.
Dropping the mic out there.
You're dropping something. You're dropping something.
Dan,
all right.
Dan,
cut the music.
Dan, you never looked more like the whitest white man in the fucking world, man. I don't know how PJ puts up with it and Foster every week with this nonsense what's going on every week. I'll let it go because I love you. You're a good friend, but come on.
I take that as a complete insult. Thank you.
We only
yes, and that's how you should do, sir. Good day. I say good day, sir.
Good day.
Good day, sir. I'm off.
Might as well be a fucking wanker, huh?
You can never be a wanker, Dan. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
Never
that.
a wanker.
Leo Factor with the next question. Next question from Leo Factor. How much reps do you want Fields taking in the third preseason game?
Well, no more than 15.
I said 10 to 15 myself earlier in the
Five.
show. And that's
5 would be fine
that's
with
what
me.
it should be limited to, is no more than 15, depending on the offensive lineman too, who's available.
Exactly.
Well, that's where I'm at with that.
As much as I wanted Fields to play for the preseason, because of our injury to our offensive line, I wouldn't want him to play in his last preseason game. Because not only do we just have one player out, we have several. So because Wright's out, Jenkins out, I don't believe Davis is going to play. I don't think he's going to play at all in the preseason. So that's 3 right there. Then you got a White here who's hurt with his hand, and you got a Lucas Patrick who's finally just now coming back this week from whatever injury he had. That's a recipe for disaster for me.
I'm feeling you. What the hell?
Next question, I guess. You want to answer that, Chris, or you want me to go to the next question?
No, go to the next question, mate, if you want.
Next question, yeah. Moving on.
From Skylark 99, how many O linemen on the 53-man roster?
Wait, PJ, can you say that like a little more sexy? Like, just go like a little bit deeper, like Skylark 99.
Skylark 99.
There you go.
How many O linemen on the 53-man roster? Skylark 99.
There you go. A little bit louder next time, but you got it.
Can't be loud.
PJ, I'm slightly turned on.
In that case,
and I don't fly that way.
I'm gonna raise my voice back up again.
All right, that's it. I'm shutting the show down. You guys get off the damn air. Get the hell out of here. You're terrible.
Oh shit.
Fucking Chris Watts, where are you at, man? What you doing, Chris? Wait a minute, what? You know, the Bears, I think this year, the Bears are going to have a good year. I don't know how good, but it could be pretty good. They could win 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 games, maybe. Or I could go this route. Chris, when the hell are you coming over to this country, lad?
Top of the morning to you, sir.
Chris just smelled like a dead cow in the warm sun. I think you should get yourself some eigene spring.
So to answer,
you know what?
To answer Skylar's question, I will say
how many offensive linemen on the 53-man roster?
I think 9.
I was thinking 9 myself.
I think 9. I think
I was
9.
ready to sit down, but fuck, I'm enjoying standing up.
9.
And to answer Swifty's question, as far as why did I change up about Fields not playing, because of so many injuries. Whereas before, I think it was only one injury for the Colts game. Whereas this, all 5 guys are like injured.
Wait.
Speaking of, Swifty's back in the house to rebuttal.
What is Foster doing?
Swifty, how you doing over there, lad?
Now I finally get to meet Foster's girlfriend. Okay. Just kidding. Yeah, I met his girlfriend. I had to come on to ask PJ a question because I don't know if I was dreaming or not, but I'm pretty sure I just remembered PJ preaching at us for a good 10 minutes about how he wants Fields to play in the preseason. And then I just heard, unless I'm crazy, I just heard him say he doesn't want Fields to play this weekend.
No, because he's not going to the game. He don't have tickets.
No.
That's it.
We got 5 injured offensive linemen.
That's it.
5.
But they got most of them got hurt before last week anyway. The only one who got hurt since then is Tevin, which we don't know if that happened before the game or not. Nobody really knows.
Wright didn't get hurt until after the game too.
Who?
Wright. Darnell Wright.
That was.
Apparently, he's up for the season too, right, guys?
No, he's not.
Is that due to an horrific drug and alcohol problem?
Just a little.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, because last week we would have had Tevin. Whitehair was already hurt, I believe. So Whitehair was hurt, but so we would have had Tevin. We would have had Carter. We would have had Braxton and Darnell Wright.
We don't think we would have had Tevin. The Tevin injury report came out an hour after the game, so most people assume it happened beforehand and just leaked. It most likely happened on Friday.
Okay.
So I mean, you're still, and then Nate Davis also wasn't ready to play. He had only split reps in practice. So,
haven't you been watching Swifty's videos, PJ? Fuck.
Every one of them.
Yeah, PJ's a man.
I watch every one of them. As a matter of fact, I watch them more than once because I don't want to miss nothing. That's how good.
He's like, I gotta hear it again to process that.
Well, I mean, because what you do is you hear it the first time and then you just go through it. Then you want to play it again because okay, I want to make sure I got this right before I can commit it to memory. That way, when someone calls me on it, I can say, yeah, I heard it from Swifty, and this is when he said it, and this is how he said it.
Boom.
Fucking timestamp over
here. Swifty, are you still there?
Chris? Yeah, man. How you doing?
Yeah, man. That's what he said. Look to you, man. It's like I think it's his first chance of had to speak to you, sort of. Well, not face to face. And I love your video. I love your videos, mate. I just like how they just seem to be just the right length. I just love how you're concise. You got a great vibe about you. You're always very detailed, but it's sort of you do it so it's an enjoyable experience to watch. Where a lot of guys that break down tape, it's like being at work watching it, and you don't do that. And there's like there's no ego. You just do it. It's not about you. It's about the Bears. So I really appreciate your videos, mate. And I'm always on your side regarding matters of pancakes and all that. So I just wanted to say hello, mate. So I've been watching stuff.
Chris, wait, time out real quick, Chris, because I love you first, and I'm glad you coming over to Chicago to see a Bears game. But what do you have in your hand there?
What do you mean? What do you mean that?
Exactly.
Hey, look, hey, we might be far away, but hey,
big mate, later away, far away, mate.
This is for the Bears overseas for Chris Watts. Hey,
you got to take PJ out. PJ has to be removed. He can't see this. It's not for his eyes.
I'm sorry, PJ. This is
not for his eyes.
This is I don't know what this is. It's not what you think it is.
Don't worry, PJ's fine.
I had to do that for Chris Watts though. I saw that in his hand. I was like, wait a minute, I gotta look. PJ, ain't nothing here, bro. I don't know what that was.
Nothing at all, man. Nothing at all, man.
AC saying he's gonna spark it up with y'all.
Man,
nice.
Y'all. I don't use that word.
Y'all.
I like to say you all. If you're legal, go ahead. Enjoy.
No,
yourself.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, those Swift, it's like,
go eat some gummies, dude.
but to the point, Swifty, I think though that with the injuries, it's more concerning now. I mean, again, I'm still trying to get accustomed to this 3-game schedule in the preseason. So I'm still trying to process, okay, when is the best time to rest your starters? Normally, it was always the last game. So me thinking the first 2 games, you want to play your starters and, get reps. Even if you're not going to pass the ball that much, he should have been out there against Indy in my mind. So,
I think what happened was the scrimmage is really good. Like, I mean, you had to be. I think you kind of had to be there and see it a little bit. Me and Foster were. It was very physical. The offensive line and defensive line got a ton of reps. I mean, it honestly, the coach Eberflus, the one who said it, it counts as 1 or 2 preseason games. The amount of reps he got out there. I know it wasn't completely live, but they had referees out there. There were officials. You can't, if a guy pulls up to you and stops, they call the play dead. And you get 3 plays to get your first down or you're off the field if you're not moving the ball. So it is a simulated environment that's about as close to real game action as you're going to get. They're flying at you. The offensive line and defensive line, they're hitting like it's a real game. There is no 60 or 70%. Like those guys are going, and Fields is reading the receivers and making the plays. So I feel like he did get a lot of reps. And then I feel like what you said, it came down to injuries. If our offensive line would have been okay, I think he would have played. I think what happened is he got a lot of good reps in Indy. I loved what he saw. I mean, you saw the biggest question, why the heck didn't the Colts play Anthony Richardson?
They didn't play none of their starters.
That's the thing. And so I think that was also decided and played into it. If the Colts had already, because they had talked about that beforehand. Eberflus, before he talked to the media and said if not Fields was playing, he knew if the Colts were going to play their starters or not. So if the Colts had already told him we're not playing our starters, and he has Cody Whitehair hurt, who knows what Tevin Jenkins' status was at that point, but he's like, hey, I mean, I'm not putting Fields out there either, especially against their backups, because that's another thing you got to decide. If our starters getting reps against backups, that's not going to help Fields.
No,
that's not going to help anybody really. And when you have backups out there with Fields on the field, that increases the likelihood of him getting hurt, because those are guys who are trying to make the roster and fighting for jobs, and them sacking Justin Fields one time could be the play of their entire life compared to starters and guys like that. You're talking about a guy who might not make the roster, having a chance to get a shot at your quarterback, no chance. So I think that's huge, and there's a lot of things that go into it that people just don't think about.
No, I agree with that. I do agree with that. So with you and Foster being here, when he was going in this live scrimmage that he's talking
about. Is this when Foster had pants on or no pants?
Uh-oh.
No pants. No pants.
No, I had shorts on still, man.
Did he have his bag of rubber dog?
He offered me a can of beans in the car too. I was like, Foster, let's go eat. And he's like, bro, I got roast beef and a can of beans in the car. What do I need to go out to eat for? And I was like, oh, okay.
So what was your honest assessment? What was your honest assessment?
So we're all, man.
They literally, those scrimmages, man, that was like playing a game and a half. I was counting some of the reps. And it was very, very rough. There was 5 fights between 5 o'clock and 6:30 before the main practice even started. And that was just on the left side, Swifty. You know exactly where I'm talking about, where the Colts side is. So I don't know how. I know there was other stuff on the other field, but just in front of me, in an hour and a half, there was 5 fights between the Bears and the Colts.
And another thing that is, someone said it earlier, but in the second day, Fields was dominant, like 11 for 11 in one session, through like 14 TDs in another session. That Foster was counting them up over there, and
They had it
Anthony
on the scoreboard.
Richardson.
He had 12 TDs in that first session of the number 1 and 2 guys mixed in for the Bears, and the number 1 and 2 guys mixed in for the Colts defensively. They scored 12 touchdowns. It was on the scoreboard.
Wait a second. We have to pause for the excellent burn on you, Foster by Q, saying Foster apparently was born during the Great Depression.
He was. He was.
We have to make sure we get.
I have nothing.
But overall, the Bears looked awesome, and the Colts looked. They struggled. There was one moment on the first day where, towards the end of the day, the Colts moved downfield. For their first team and second team did, and the Bears went 3 and out with PJ and Justin. But the Fields one was weird because they had a play that was, they called it a sack, but Fields got rid of the ball like right when the guy got there, and Flus was arguing with them, and then there was some other stuff going on, but we just got off the field. But that was like the only time the Colts looked good at all. Other than that, like Fields was throwing touchdowns, our offensive line was blocking. Our defensive backs, even after Eddie Jackson went out, Elijah Hicks and Tyreek Stevenson, they were breaking up balls, making plays. Like, the only thing the Colts were able to do was Anthony Richardson run. And every time he ran, it was questionable whether or not he was sacked anyway, but that's the only way they were moving the ball. Like, he wasn't throwing it. He was getting Terrell Lewis and Travis Gibson in his face, and he would take off scrambling for a couple yards.
Was Yannick participating in that?
Yannick was the first day. I don't remember him the second day, I don't think.
Okay. All right.
I didn't see him on the second
He
day.
was at practice today, though.
I will say this, Kyler Gordon, the second day, nobody could touch that dude. He was for me, day 2, he was the best.
That's when he
man
had the pick in the back of the end zone. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. But it's even more than that, Swifty. That guy was everywhere. He broke up 2 other passes. I don't know if they showed any of this stuff, man, because it was just drills. He was everywhere.
And I think that's just a big part is how well they performed in Indy, and then
I do too.
That other part I just brought up. I think they knew the Colts weren't playing their starters, and that would have decided it for Flus right there. If their starters aren't playing, he's like, neither are mine.
Yeah, I'm sure they do that collaborative too.
They just spent 2 days beating the crap out of each other. Why would you play them?
Yep. And especially, you're not going to risk at that point with the offensive line banged up. Like, Kramer would have had to start as center. Like, that right there would have been enough for me to be like, "Ooh, let's hold Fields out. Let's give," because that was Kramer's really first time ever going against. It would have been his first time going against first stringers, but they didn't even play first stringers, so
yeah,
it was his first time as a first stringer.
Swifty, have you? Sorry, PJ. I just jumped in there, mate. Sorry, PJ. Have you heard anything about the injuries to Brisker or Claypool? How they're getting on with their injury situation?
Eberflus addressed that today. He said that all of those guys, he's confident will be ready to go week 1.
All right.
Yeah, Brisker's been on the bike. Him and Claypool were both on the stationary bike today, and they both had lower body injuries. So usually, if you're on the bike, that's a good sign. Like, you can move. That's usually that's they do a ramp up period. They don't just let them come straight back to practice. They'll spend a couple days on the bike, just out there like watching practice, and then every time your position group is doing something, you're hustling on that bike as much as you can, and just trying to be in good shape.
Oh, cool.
Now,
cool. Cheers, mate.
I see Mark Kazak saying that Kramer is probably starting Saturday.
I would think so.
You said yes?
Yeah.
What happened with Patrick?
He's only practiced 1 day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He practiced 1 day, snapping the ball with Cody Whitehair at left guard. Cody Whitehair's hand is still wrapped severely. Nobody knows exactly what's going on with his hand other than he's not going to be able to snap the ball if it's wrapped like that.
Right.
And I think Braxton Jones mentioned it today. Something that they like about having Cody Whitehair there is Braxton is really comfortable with Cody Whitehair next to him because they played that way all last year. He's way more comfortable with Cody Whitehair than he is Tevin Jenkins. So sliding Cody over to guard and having Kramer or Doug Patrick or Lucas Patrick or Doug Kramer, both of these two first name guys, one of them start at center. Right now, the plan, it looks like, is going to be Lucas Patrick, but I think he's similarly on pace to be ready for week 1 where he might not play Saturday. So I don't know. I'm hoping Lucas Patrick plays and looks good and kind of calms people down at center. But if not, maybe Kramer could have come in and have a good game.
What about Davis?
Is he going to play Saturday?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say I would lean towards no. That would probably be Carter.
So to your point then, how is that different than what it would have been last week?
That's what I said.
Kramer, because you said you didn't want Kramer being your starter at center with Justin Fields, but you're going to do that this
Other than they've had a week to practice together? I mean,
Okay,
they
I'll
wouldn't
give
have
you
had that. They didn't have that at all last week.
I'll give
Kramer was on the second team the whole time. This week he would be preparing for it all week with the starters. It gives you a little bit of prep. It's different. Just, I mean, practicing Thursday night and then Friday going, hey, Kramer, you're going to start tomorrow with Justin.
You're the man. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Got to get a little chemistry going. And Braxton's really hasn't had any chance to develop any chemistry with Tevin next to him. How much have they played together?
Doug Van Dorn is asking, Swifty, do you think the O-line can protect the pocket with Kramer at center?
I think center's the least important position when it comes to pass blocking. Usually they don't have one-on-ones. Usually they're just chip blocking with one of the guards unless they have a blitz coming. But it happens occasionally. As you've seen, you guys have seen Sam Mustipher just get ragdolled. It happens. That question hasn't been answered. I don't know. I think Kramer can at least be average at center. The main thing you want the center to do is be able to snap the ball and be decent in the run game. He falls on the ground a lot. I think in the preseason last week was probably his best game. He looked pretty good. I still saw him on the ground only twice, which is better than usual. And he looked okay most of the game. So I'm more confident now than I would have been last week at that time before I seen him in that game.
Now, I don't remember seeing Kramer going against a one tech. So I'm wondering how is his anchor, because Green Bay runs a.
That's his biggest question. I mean,
yes,
that was his biggest question coming into the NFL.
Right.
So what was his strength and whether or not he had the size to hold up, and that's really we won't know until we actually get to see it in the game.
Now Buffalo, they run a 4-3, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we won't see it now. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
Yep, no problem. Hey, love you, PJ. Chris, it was great to get to know you. I think Shorty's trying to so I'm going to get out of here and let you guys do your thing. Much love to everybody in the chat.
I appreciate you, Swifty.
Bearski, I know he's out there. We love you, man. No hard feelings for Bearski. You let everybody know.
Oh, no, none whatsoever.
Swifty, much love, man. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, for hanging out with us in chat, coming on the show back and forth. This has been awesome.
It was. Fuck you, Shorty.
Fuck you, too.
Fuck you, Swifty. You didn't even say bye to me, you fucker.
Foster.
I told you had to say that. You had to say "fuck you, Shorty," because we gotta bring that back.
Too, Foster. Okay, how about that?
I didn't hear it. What?
Fuck you too, Foster.
I didn't hear what?
Okay. You need to get your ears cleaned out. He spent too much time in parking lots in Indy, I think. All right, I'm out. Peace, guys. Much love, PJ.
Take care, Swifty.
Peace.
Take care, mate.
Looks like Bearsky wanted to hop in and show play one of his videos, and I just didn't want to interrupt Swifty before he was signing off. So if you want to come back in, Bearsky, and show that. Other than that, we're going to wrap up the show. If he does do that, unless we're going to wrap up the show shortly. Mark was asking if I'm.
Paulie?
Where is that that chat from Mark? If I'm going to be on PSF? Well,
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Mark Kazak was asking if I'm doing the Bears game on the PSF app this weekend. I don't know. It's a great question.
What time is the game Saturday?
Huh?
What time is the game Saturday?
It's at midday.
Yeah, it's like a noon game, I think.
Yeah, 6 o'clock over here. So it'll be about 12ish for you guys.
Yeah, so 1 o'clock game for me here. So I think we should, Mark. Anyone who hasn't downloaded, if they don't currently have it yet available for Android, but they'll have it ready by I hate saying this, it's like a broken record. Why the fuck isn't it ready for Android yet? But it will be soon, by the start of the season. But right now it's on Apple, and we just did a show last night, Mark, where Lester Wiltfong and I, who I'm going to be doing the Bears games with, and most of the other team members. There's three different teams, and we did a live stream last night. You can go check that out, Mark. We kind of hang out for like an hour and talk about it. So anyone else currently that has an iPhone, you can go to the PSF app, look for the Bears fan chat. It's all just a big chat, all different chat rooms. Just find the Bears fan chat room, and you can find that live stream that we did last night to kind of kick it off a little bit and try to figure it out and stuff. It's a slow process, but we're getting there. Sean Salisbury has agreed today to do a show next week to come on with us and talk about that actually and help us promote it and kind of give us his breakdown on Justin Fields. And we'll also have the other team members that are going to be doing the other PSF games as well, that myself and Lester will not be doing. So more on that. Stay tuned. We'll be getting that figured out. Might do it as a premiere. We can hang out with you and chat and talk about it. But just make sure that you set your notifications so that you can make sure that you see when that comes out. It'll give a lot more information at the current time. But it's a ground floor app that they're trying to build from the ground floor up. So, Sean Salisbury wouldn't, he's the president of this. So it's pretty cool. I think that his passion and drive to make this work with how he's handling all of us as fans to do this is pretty unique and pretty cool. So we're looking forward to having him on the show. Guys, we have a lot more things coming too. We might have some actors coming on the show. I don't want to.
What?
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away because I want to make sure it finalizes. But I have the email as it was given to me by him of an actor who's a Bears fan and possibly more. So that'll be a lot of fun to maybe talk to some local Chicagoland Bears fan actors to come on the show. And one of them I met a long time ago, possibly. So I don't want to give much away about that. I don't want to jinx it, but
isn't Foster an actor?
Yeah, well, Foster's
yeah, Foster's an actor. Look at
Is it Bill Murray? Is it Bill Murray?
It might be.
No.
It might
One
be.
of my favorite actors. I'm Bears fan.
Oh my God, who was the guy from Jaws, man? But later.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My wife has she's worked in the film industry for over 25 years, so it just came to me like, why don't I?
Richard Dreyfuss.
There's so many Bears fans that it doesn't all have to be about like having players or journalists. This is made by the fans for the fans. So if we can get some actor Bears fans on here, that'd be fun. Looking forward to that. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, Lark.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, shit, I think I'm about ready to end the show. Are you guys? Oh, we have Bearsky back here. Well, Bearsky won. Bearsky had.
Is he back?
Yeah. Let's see. He has him right here. Let's go.
Okay.
He's got it loaded up. Let's just play it. So
exciting
courtesy
as
of
this.
BearsCountry
First them, man. Let's go beat their ass, man. Let's
With
go.
the 11th pick
That's what it is.
in the 2021 NFL Draft, the My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Yes.
It means a lot, you know. The amount of Bears quarterback that's been here, our franchise has been around for a long time.
Great way to end the show with a Justin Fields type of deal.
I think I'm just growing and getting better each and every weekend.
And yet we lost that game. That was one of those goal line drives against the Commanders.
You know, my main goal right now is just to continue to do that. You know, continue to trend up each and every day of practice. Just keep getting better and better.
You know, I think you brought up earlier, right? You brought up our situation in Carolina when we got there in 2011. We had we had Cam in his rookie year, new coaching staff that year. So within reason, a similar situations as you kind of referred to on the previous question. So I think in that regard, you take a similar approach to how did I see it firsthand improve, right? Our first year in 2011, the year before they were 2-14, picked number 1. Our first year, I think we were 6-10. I think we won either 6 or 7 games, but we were highly competitive, right? We lost to Green Bay Packers. You know, we both scored 35 plus. It was just a shootout, but they beat us. We were competitive in every game. We won 6 of them, but I would say 11 of them, we looked like we belonged, right? So that was the first step, is be highly competitive, be in every game. Sometimes your youth prevents you from winning all those close games, but be in them.
mean, some of it's on me. I think I missed a lot of, easy completions this year. So I think it's just me fixing some mechanics up and me getting better just with the gimmies, the short throws, the bubble alerts, the screens and stuff like that. And, once you start hitting those, that completion percentage just shoots up. You get 8 to 10 free completions each game. And, I mean, you kind of see the passing game take off from there.
That was very good film. Very good film, Paulski. Very good film.
Thanks, Paul. As usual, man. Thank you.
Very good. Very good.
Paulski, thank you for sharing that with us, man. That was awesome. Well done.
Yeah, very well done.
Well, guys, that was a great way to end the show on an excellent video by Bearski. Thanks for joining us, Bearski. Thank you for Dave. Thank your friend Dave for joining us as well.
Yes.
Chris, man, love you, man. Thank you for staying up until 6 o'clock in the morning now? 5?
It's 5:20.
You the man.
Time for some
dedication,
breakfast.
Go get some fingers.
I just want to say thanks for letting me come on this show. It's always a joy, man, talking to you guys, and it's just so nice to talk Bears. Full stop. And also as well, obviously, I'm going to be seeing Foster and Dan very soon, and I just can't wait. It just can't come quick enough anyway. But yeah, great show, fellas, and I will speak to you all very soon on another show, hopefully. And bear down.
Bear down.
Well, I think
rest, Chris. You're gonna need it.
You're gonna need it, Chris. If we don't see you again on the show, we'll see you in person in just a little 7 weeks.
Well,
I'm sure.
Man.
Chris, you guys are on Sunday, right? So tell everybody where you're at. Sunday
Tell us about
Yeah. Oh yes, I'm so bad at promotion. I really am bad. I think it's a bit of an English thing. But yes, you can catch me on the Barroom Network on the Barfly Tailgate Show. It goes out 10 Eastern on Sunday morning. We'll be on every week before every game. So this week we'll be reviewing Saturday night's game against the Bills. And it'll be a usual crowd of me, AC, KB, and Jordan, if he can get up early enough. Everybody always welcome to watch us on a Sunday morning and get your sort of Bears Sunday kicked off.
Yep.
Awesome, man.
I catch you guys when I'm up, man. So hopefully I'll see you Sunday.
Yeah.
Cool, mate. I'll be looking out for you, mate, in the chat.
Absolutely.
I got to try to pronounce his name one more time. Keu Carito.
Keu Carito. Keu
Carito.
I thought you said it was pronounced like each letter, like K-E-U.
Just say it my way, man.
Ku, like Ku. How do you? Is it Ku or is it Ku? Ku.
Kirito, right? Is it Kirito? Kirito?
Yeah, it's like my last name. Like, see, my last name is Mr. Shorty. My last name is Shortino. All my friends called me Shorty.
See,
I'm not short, so I have to spell it actually correct because I don't want people to misspell. Nobody can pronounce my last name. So
K-E-U.
Kiyu, yes.
K-E-U.
Kiyu.
He's going with K-E-U.
He's saying K-E-U, isn't it?
It's K-E-U.
K-U.
K-E-U.
Yeah, K-U.
K-E-U. What it would be Kiyu. Jeez.
You guys are pronouncing it. He's spelling it. That's what I'm saying. He's spelling it how it's pronounced. K-E-U.
K-U. K-U.
Okay. All right.
My ass off. It's all good, guys.
Short is the tall one.
I think it's probably K-U, right? If I'm correct. K-U.
Well, Doug's got Kiyu. I got Kiyu.
PJ is right.
I saw somebody else, but I don't know.
Okay.
No, it's K-E-U.
What is exactly?
It's not K-U. It's K. He's saying pronounce each letter. That's how you pronounce it.
K-E-U.
I didn't read pronunciation.
KEU. KEU.
That's what I said. KEU.
Yes.
KEU.
Are you? I wonder if he's Hawaiian.
KEU. Okay.
I know Hawaii. Like in Hawaii, every vowel was pronounced very specifically, like very vowelistically. KEU.
KEU.
It's fucking awesome. That's a great fucking name, man. I like it.
Hey,
Guys, everybody in chat though. Doug Van Dorn, KEU. Lil Puppet for Christ, we appreciate you. That's the first time we've seen you. We appreciate you tonight thanks for joining us. Hope you like us, subscribe, tell all your friends. There's a lot more coming on this channel. Seriously, we're gonna have a lot of fun.
We had Ryan Poles in here earlier.
Doug Van Dorn, Mark Kazak.
Ryan Poles was in earlier.
Ryan Poles was hanging out with us tonight.
Yep.
STC, Eric Sullivan.
Yes. James
Brian
Ford.
Gilmore.
Yes.
Bear
Truth 9. Leo Factor 1.
Eduardo Isaac Rodriguez M.
Mark Kazak, as always. Appreciate you, brother.
Yep. Mark Go Polo.
STC.
Cliff, my brother from another mother.
Brian Gilmore and Skylark 99.
Did we get a picture from Cliff?
Swifty
in the hills.
He could compete.
Yes,
He couldn't.
Yes, for Christ's sake. Yes, thank you, Swifty. We love you, man. Thank you. I didn't say that last week. I felt like an asshole. I actually told him after the show. I'm like, we didn't even say thank you to Swifty for joining us. Swifty, thank you for joining us. Mr. Mayhem.
Yes.
Eric Sullivan. I think we said Eric before. Skylark 99 was great to see Skylark 99 back.
Yeah.
Raging Oracle.
Yep.
Raging.
Again.
Blink the DJ was in here tonight.
Blink the DJ, yes.
Yeah, she was in here tonight. Of course, Queen of the North, Shay.
Queen of the North, Shay, yes. Thank you.
Eduardo Isaac Rodriguez, new subscriber here. Welcome. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Eduardo.
Nice.
Make sure you guys check out Queen of the North, THA, on YouTube too. She just started her channel and she's awesome. We're gonna have her on again once the season gets kicked off and officially, and you're gonna love her if you haven't already. Check her out on the previous shows. She's awesome.
And again, Paul Ski and Dave Ski from BearsCountry Films.
Got to thank those guys for joining us, of course.
BearsCountry does great with his films. I mean, his films is nice. I really appreciate their BearsCountry films. Thank you. I like the way you add the music to them and edit them out, man. Good job, man.
Yeah, good job. AC Adam joined us tonight again.
Yes,
thank you, AC.
Hair Bear.
Yeah, he left. He did say goodnight to everyone, too. I forgot to pull that up. We were talking.
So,
love all you guys, man.
Yeah,
thank
you guys in the chat. You
us.
make this show, so we appreciate you guys.
Just trying to get through everybody, and thank you all. As it's a long show, so you got to scroll up a while. But seriously, J2K was here again tonight. Thank you, J2K. Appreciate you. Leo Factor, of course.
Yes.
We didn't say him. Leo, appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
I'm Dave.
All right. Well, I think that's it. It's a lot to keep scrolling. So that we love you guys. We appreciate you. Please spread the word. Tell everyone about BCP because we're going to have some good stuff coming up here in the very near future. So until next week, we'll see you on Monday with hopefully, I think we're doing that with
BearsCountry to say goodbye.
BearsCountry's going to hang out with us and afterwards.
Okay, gotcha.
But we just want to say thank you guys, and we'll see you soon, Chris.
Yes.
And on a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Bears.
Bears.
Bears.